buddy? Good to see you. It's fun to see you last night, too.
Wait, are we on yet?
Yes.
Oh, that's great that we opened up right on.
Right on you puffing? Last night was fun.
Oh, my God,
How funny
dude.
was it tell, dude?
I was remembering today that he said that Deliverance was his Barbie.
He said so many asides like that. There was so
Yeah.
many, like, you know, Tony said something really funny. He said, you watch him, you die laughing, and then afterwards you can't remember anything he said.
No, that's right. And then I start to have recall. It's like I got abducted and then the memories come back. So when I woke up, I was laughing because I remembered he said about, he goes, I need to get a root canal, but I couldn't get it because I couldn't get a root canal because I was in Oklahoma. You know, every life is sacred. Did you ever have a back alley root canal?
He was just, everything about him was just so silly and so casual. It was very, very, and when he pulls out the recorder and starts playing that little flute thing.
Yeah, he learned to do that over the pandemic. He learned to play recorder.
The fact that he uses a flip phone for real. I guess he has. You want some coffee?
Yeah.
I guess he has
I should have asked.
a iPhone that he uses for social media when if he
I
ever
always
needs
want to send him
post.
shit, and I can't because I guess he's taking the calls on the flip phone.
Yeah, he prefers to be out.
Does
with
he
the
work for
flip
Mossad?
phone. I think he prefers to be with the flip phone, but I think he's right. I think if you have a cell phone that's connected to the internet, a smartphone, but you don't use it that often, every now and then you check it, that's probably the way to go.
You know, of course he's right.
Yeah.
Everybody has North Korea in their pocket at all times.
Yes. Yeah, you really do.
Well,
Our government, their government, everybody's government.
you better hope it's multiple governments, so there's at least some competition for your data, and it's not just one monopoly has all your data.
Right. How much have you paid attention to the TikTok thing, where they're trying to do this ban on TikTok?
Too much because we covered it, and it's because, well, here's what it's. Besides controlling and being able to take shit down whenever they want and doing, we're
Which is
China.
a real problem.
Yeah, we are China, by the way. I don't know if people think we're not China, but we are China. And but now the real push was coming because of Israel, not because of all the Hamas videos or whatever, but Israelis post shit. TikTok censors people. TikTok's not like a free speech something platform.
Right.
So the shit Israeli soldiers are posting themselves is getting out. And what happens is the kids are on TikTok and, it hasn't been 1944 forever. It's been pretty woke here. So now that's clashing, seeing this shit that, remember when Osama bin Laden made a huge comeback like about I don't know how many months ago?
Oh, right.
And people just discovered his letters.
Letter to America. Yeah. God, he makes sense.
I think he's an industry plant.
There. So what are these Israeli soldiers putting up on TikTok?
Well, all the war crimes that they do.
No.
Look, I
Really?
I want to make this clear to everyone. I would never listen to an Arab. Okay, so I want you to understand that. I would never believe a Muslim about nothing. You don't have to ever do that. Look at not America, what they tell you, Israeli news, Israeli politicians, their ambassadors when they come here and talk. Listen to what they say, because that's what I unfortunately did, and it was quite disturbing. And what's even more disturbing is when I tell my friends here in America, they go, yeah, no, it's war. Nagasaki, Hiroshima, right? You've heard the old Nagasaki, Hiroshima?
Yeah.
And
The old Kid Rock combo.
Yeah, the old Kid Rock. Dresden. Okay, this is like how naive I am. Jimmy was putting up, because I could see the stories ready, loading up for the next segment. And I see Israeli ambassador in UK, Dresden. So what I think it's going to be is she's going, how dare you compare what we're doing to Dresden? We're defending ourselves. Okay, that's what I think. What a normal human would do is go, I would never want to say Dresden is okay. Did you ever read Slaughterhouse, Kurt Vonnegut? We had to read the book in school because he was at Dresden, Kurt Vonnegut. And it was a deliberate terror attack that we did with, this is just established history. It's a crime, but we were fighting the Nazis, etc. So, and we won. So, okay, that's how I thought we looked at it. Like it was a terrible crime. But she goes, yeah, Dresden. We got to do Dresden.
Explain Dresden. What took place at Dresden for people that might not know.
I don't remember what city it was. We firebombed them.
Firebombed the entire city. Yeah, indiscriminately killed everybody.
No, not indiscriminately. On purpose, targeted civilians to break their spirit. But keep in mind, Dresden, as much of it's a crime, but that was like the war's going on. So then they started doing shit like Dresden.
Evil shit.
We didn't do Hiroshima week 2 of the war.
Right. Why was Dresden so heavily bombed?
This is all
the
known,
punishing
too.
3-day Allied bombing attack intended to force a German surrender leveled the city and left tens of thousands dead.
And probably more than that, by the way. Look, I thought everybody knew it was a war crime, and actually everybody did know up until, people thought natural immunity was a thing until a couple years ago.
Yeah.
This is one of those. So I'm disturbed by that.
So she was essentially saying we have to commit a war crime.
Right.
Or we're doing a war crime.
Because in her brain, it's 1944 all day. Noam from the Cellar pointed out this mindset, and it's very insightful, because not 1948 when you got Israel established. It's 44, right after this shit happened, and you're real mad. They live in 1940, but we lived in wokey times. So the clash between the cultures, every time I hear an Israeli official or military person or fucking Bibi speak, it sounds like someone's embarrassing immigrant parent that doesn't know not to say gay slurs here in America. Every time. So, again, I do not support Hamas or any Arab or Muslim. I hope I make it clear I'm one of the good people. And like the good people, I yearn for us to go back and fight them. You remember back when that was already me, when we knew what was what, before we went to all this cuckoo caca? I hope we go back to those days. In fact, if I was liberal, I'd also hope that. The Obama times, that was so great.
Yeah. The times of a
I'm not conservative either.
less confusing enemy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more clearly established what was going on. This whole
Dave Smith knows shit, by the way. You probably had him recently, right?
Yeah. Dave's the best at it.
Dave knows it. I'm very proud of Dave consistently, because he really knows his shit. Like,
he doesn't talk about things unless he knows his things, and he goes very, very deep into subjects. He doesn't talk out of his ass at all.
No, not at all, dude.
No, he
not
goes
at all.
very, very deep into subjects, really gets an understanding of them, and then fucking debates people, and really knows what he's talking about. Like, he actually
does.
contributes to these conversations in a very, very meaningful way.
I know him a long time, dude. I'm very impressed with him right now.
He's very impressive. He's and he's hilarious too. It's like he's both things. Hilarious comic and very impressive person.
You see on Piers Morgan?
Yeah, I did see that.
So my buddy Gary from Neurotic went on Piers Morgan with I can't remember the other guy, the critical drinker, and then these two chicks from, one was English, and it was on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is getting like the YouTube talent pool of whatever to come on and debate these topics. Like, he discovered all this.
Right.
And it's like, are the Oscars over, or are the Oscars irrelevant? And I cannot wait to ask Gary about it because the question, how come Barbie didn't win an Oscar was actually like a topic. And imagine like an international news show to figure out why Barbie. That's incredible.
Imagine being upset.
How come Oppenheimer got it?
Yeah.
Listen, even if it was like really good, it's a Barbie movie.
Right.
You know, Batman Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, he's the reason that won, just his performance.
Right.
Maybe you could say that for Barbie.
It was a pretty fucking good movie. That's a different kind of movie, though. That's a dystopian movie about, crime-ridden city.
Barbie?
Barbie's fun.
I thought you were talking about Barbie was crime-ridden city. Like, is it good?
But how could you compare the two movies? I mean, Oppenheimer is a movie that people will be watching decades from now.
I'll tell you how. You check the algorithms and you see what topics are trending, and you put them together like you're a fucking AI, and you make a TV program out of that horse shit, and you discuss it as if it's a thing. Can you imagine? You must be doing so well in life if like that's one of your issues about like who got subbed at the Oscars at all. I looked down
and
on
how
you.
did Barbie not get it?
Yeah, if you were just like
that's your big thought.
If you're just passionate about the Oscars, I think you're an idiot.
Right.
But if Barbie got it,
I didn't even know it was on until I saw John Cena naked on the internet.
I didn't even know it wasn't a movie called Barbenheimer. I didn't know they mashed those together to save the theater industry that got killed after COVID and also all the movies sucking.
The theater industry did get killed, though. Everybody knows they can stream things at home now, so they just started giving it to you at home, and then they don't have to pay as much.
Yeah, a lot of great reasons to stay home forever, guy. I don't know if you noticed them piling up.
Oh, boy.
Don't even go out no
up.
more, man.
Boy, the COVID really did in the streaming thing.
It did in all the things. Hey,
Well, really did in rather the theater thing, because streaming movies at home is so much. If you've got a nice TV, and boy, you can get a big ass TV cheap now. Like, what's a 65-inch Samsung TV cost right now? When I remember when they first came out with plasma screens,
it's cheaper than insulin. I'll tell you that.
It was like a 24 or 28-inch plasma screen, and it was like $20,000. And I was like, $20,000 for a TV? That's crazy. Yeah. Now a TV like that is free. They just give it to you. You don't even want it.
Technically, as low as $400.
What?
But that's the.
Oh my God, that's
less
insane.
And stuff, but yeah.
Whatever.
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
It's still 4K.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Let me see what that looks like for $397 from Walmart.
Sounds like a TV.
Best Buy, it's $399.
You sound like you're doing an ad for them.
But no, but
Come
look
down.
at that. That's insane.
Yeah.
65 inches, 4K. Look how thin it is. $400. Those fucking things were so expensive at one point in time. So now watching movies at home is awesome.
Do you buy any I always thought, and I'm not smart with money in any way, but like top of the line technology such as that, like when $20,000 when it first comes out, never in my life, even if I would have the disposable income for a $20,000 plasma TV, I go, of course another thing's coming out tomorrow, and this was gonna. That's how it's always been for this stuff.
Well, it wasn't when those $20,000 TVs came out. It was a long time before anything was better than them.
Oh, well, it is when they first got the technology from Roswell, so it's going to be more.
This is, I think we're talking about like the 90s. So, like, see if you can find an ad for a 28-inch plasma TV, because they were plasma. And let's just say like 96, 1997.
I was selling, I was working at The Wiz selling cell phones and PCs. Like pre-built, like a Dell, like not Dell, Sony had a Pentiums. Mm-hmm. And very little markup on it. It was not the good department.
I used to make my own.
Well, that's what a smarter person would do. An idiot would come to our store and buy it there.
Well, I bought that too. I bought. It was like they were always getting better, but you could do a lot with you could buy motherboards, and you could you learn how to put like the jumpers in place with tweezers. And you know what's interesting? The tweezers and the jumpers were like master and slave.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I don't know what they call them now.
Can you edit this out, Jamie?
Okay, so what year is this?
It says 97 is the first Fujitsu plasma screen. That was like 42 inches.
Fujitsu.
Oh, well, I think, is that the first ones? God, I feel like it was more money than that. I feel like it was still $9,000 as opposed to $400. Like that $400 one is infinitely better than this fucking clunky hunk of shit with low resolution.
No, that's what I'm talking about. That's why buying it at the very beginning, I mean, it's like dumber than buying a fucking boat.
In 2003, plasma TV was $10,000. Oh, that was 70 inches. That's pretty big.
That's also why, like the Black Friday lines started getting so crazy because everyone's looking for good TV deals and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right.
I killed 3 men for my TV. Is that what
people tried to get when they got aggressive?
Those were those and laptops, like the first big things.
Well, Black Friday sales are some of the darkest moments in humanity. You see those people fighting over like boxes of shit. Like, what the fuck?
I think I'm looking at the greatest country on earth, frankly, Joe. That's what I think I'm looking at on Black Friday.
Competition.
On African American Friday. Excuse me. Excuse me, Joe.
When you say these guys are getting in trouble on TikTok, like I'm not on TikTok. So like
of course not. You're not a pedophile.
Yeah. So what specifically are they putting up on TikTok that's getting them in trouble?
Showing off, like blowing shit up into. I don't look at it. I don't want to go on TikTok for any reason. I don't care about anything on it. But we have on Jimmy's show we show clips. You know, like the clip of Wolf Blitzer. You ever see that clip of Wolf Blitzer where he has the I don't know what rank the guy is. This is in the early part of the war, and the guy's English is not usually have pretty good English, but his isn't great, right? And Wolf, who used to work for APAC, okay, Wolf's not a pro on the side of everything dude, right? And he goes, So they just blew up some refugee camp and to get this one Hamas. And Wolf's like, wait, you blew up there's 400 and 500 people at that camp. And you're like, hey, that's war. And like Wolf's face, he's just like, we gotta go to, yeah. Oh wait, I forgot the best part. I don't want to say best part, but on Wolf's face, and you could see Wolf is like, what in the fuck? This is what I'm talking about. And he goes, well, did you get the guy? He goes, oh, we can't confirm. They might have not even got the guy.
Well,
and
if
Wolf
they say
goes,
they can't confirm, they probably didn't get him.
of course. And Wolf knows that. So Wolf, he's like, we have to go to a break. That sticks with me.
I need to watch that.
I was trying to find it. I have the the clip from.
So
Jimmy's
is this
show
one of
about
those
that.
ones that's going to get us in trouble? Probably, right?
No idea.
Why?
Oh, well, let's play it just for us.
I have to even find it. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
By any chance, is this it?
This is it.
Okay. Let me hear it, James.
Back now to our breaking news here in the Middle East. A massive explosion at the largest refugee camp in Gaza. Joining us now is Lieutenant Colonel Richard Hecht. He's the international spokesperson for the Israel Defense Forces. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to ask you first about this massive blast that we all just saw. We saw the video at the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza. Is there anything more you could first of all tell us about how this explosion happened?
Hi, Wolf. Thanks for having me. So we'll be coming out in the next, hopefully, hour with more data, but I can update you now that
Hold on,
a very
pause.
senior...
This is a Scottish Israeli dude? Like, what is this?
Possibly.
That accent's crazy.
Do you know Australian Israeli?
I know, but the accent with the flag, I'm like, my brain is going, what's going on here? This
I
guy
thought he had a
sounds like he's
cleft palate
Scottish.
for a minute.
We've got bombs there. Okay, go ahead.
Hamas commander in that area. Sadly, he was hiding, again, as they do, within civilians. And that's all I can see at this point. We're looking into it, and we'll be coming out with more data as we learn what happened there.
Oh, it is Scottish.
So can you confirm it was an Israeli attack that destroyed a big chunk of that Jabalia refugee camp?
Yes, I can. We were focused
And the
again
fact that
on
they're-
a target.
Here's where Wolf gets upset.
Senior Commander Wolf, and we'll be updating you with more data as the hour moves ahead.
But even if that Hamas commander was there amidst all those Palestinian refugees who are in that Jabalia refugee camp, Israel still went ahead and dropped a bomb there, attempting to kill this Hamas commander, knowing that a lot of innocent civilians, men, women, and children, presumably would be killed. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's not what you're hearing, Wolf. We're focused on this commander, again, who you'll get more data who this man was. Killed many, many Israelis. We're doing everything we can. It's a very complicated battle space. There could be infrastructure there. There could be tunnels there. We're still looking into it, and we'll give you more data as the hour moves ahead.
But you know that there are a lot of refugees, a lot of innocent civilians, men, women, and children in that refugee camp as well, right?
This is the tragedy of war, Wolf. I mean, as you know, we've been saying for days, move south. Civilians that are not involved with Hamas, please move south.
I'm just trying to get a little bit more information. You knew there were civilians there. You knew there were refugees, all sorts of refugees, but you decided to still drop a bomb on that refugee camp, attempting to kill the Hamas commander. By the way, was he killed?
I can't confirm yet. I'll be more updated. Yes, we know that he was killed.
He said he was killed.
About the civilians there, we're doing everything we can to minimize. I'll say it again. Sadly, they are hiding themselves within civilian population.
Okay.
And again, we are doing this stage by stage.
It's okay to shoot through all the people. It's sad that there's people. That's normal, and that's just war. Putin, by the way, is the most evil man in the world. For nothing as fucked up as that.
No.
So look, hey, they do have to do
Isn't it
self-defense.
crazy, though, when you see the difference between people looking at things objectively versus people that look at things tribally?
Yeah,
and if you're on the right side, you support Ukraine against Russia. Russia is the invader, and Russia's this horrible country.
Right, and they won that whole
Right.
thing. So,
But this thing just the disparity in death count.
I don't want to hear about
means
Uyghurs
nothing.
ever again. Don't tell me about the fucking Uyghurs. Because they got a lot better than Gaza. The Uyghurs are living like kings compared to that shit. So all I'm saying, see,
They got a
objectively.
nice job. And
What?
a cot.
No,
The Uyghurs, they got a nice job at the factory and a cot.
they're getting work experience.
What
They're
really
learning a
does
trade.
happen- The thing about the Uyghurs is we don't even really know what happens to them. We don't know what they're doing to them, right? Because they deny that they put them in camps.
It's a lot like Guantanamo. No, it's like Guantanamo. When I was there, I asked somebody about because most people, by the way, don't even. If we bring it up, they go, "Oh, don't say that."
When
word.
you say when I was there, you went to Guantanamo Bay or you went to
No,
China?
I went to China.
I was like, Jesus Christ, Kurt.
When I
you
was in
deep
Guantanamo,
state. Kurt's part of the deep state.
I went
Metzger's
to.
out there
Here's
in
a New York Times
Guantanamo.
article from February about
What Israel soldier videos revealed cheering destruction and mocking Gazans.
There you go,
An
bad
analysis
optics.
of social media videos found Israeli soldiers filming themselves in Gaza and destroying what appears to be civilian property. The footage provides a rare and unsanctioned window into the war. Yeah.
So that's why TikToks. And so the guy from the ADL, we played the recording of him going. I can't remember the name of the. He goes, We got to get on this. We need the kind of genius that was behind Talit. People didn't know what he was saying online.
Just force everybody to use a flip phone like a tel.
That's why I said, is it?
All those soldiers
Yeah.
should be. No. You can't trust you assholes with TikTok. You're too wacky.
How am I going to brag about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
How will I brag? Hey, if we could do shit like that, too bad we couldn't. We could have won those 2 wars we lost out there, huh? If we could just starve. Hey, you're all going to be starved until the Taliban surrenders.
Yeah.
Why didn't we think of that?
Right.
We're not as good at fighting as them, I guess is what it is.
Well, they're involved in fighting on their own shore every day.
Yeah, against
And
people that they hate with, I would say, a racial thing, and I know it's
Yeah.
real because I dated Israeli girl for 10 years, and the whole top. Now, here's what I find. I think and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if I had converted, because that was like a big thing, like, you're going to, and I think if I had, we could have moved to Israel, and I could claim my birthright of land.
Yeah. Well, you can move there. Like if
I
you're
could
an
have
American
converted.
Jew,
She has a dual citizenship.
But
I could be wrong, but I'll bet you can do that.
haven't American Jews gone over there to avoid prosecution?
Well, every
Isn't that-
country does that. I mean, that's.
But isn't that a thing? Like American Jews, if someone's coming after them
Meyer,
in America?
I thought Meyer Lansky tried. Oh, am I thinking of The Godfather where the guy had?
Yeah, right. No, Meyer Lansky, did he do that? But I think there's a thing. Applicants must meet one of the following requirements. 1, have at least 1 Jewish birth parent, or 2, have converted to Judaism. That's easy.
Well, my wife
That's
would have
it.
been that, yeah.
You don't need to be religious to qualify to fit in our trips. In fact, many of our participants...
Oh, you're talking about birthright.
Yeah.
So he goes. That's what I'm saying. The ADL guy goes. We need the people that came up with birthright to put their heads on this TikTok thing.
Well, the Jewish thing is a wild thing because it's a race that you can join.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's a
Because
religion.
people think of it as a
Yeah.
race.
Well,
They
you know
do.
why? Because Hitler thought of it that way, sure. Also, a lot of Zionists think of it that way. A bunch of Jewish people don't. You know, ultra-Orthodox Jews, which I always liked ultra because that's like...
Right, but you have to accept that some people feel that Jewish is a race.
called anti-Semites.
No, but there's like people that feel like
Right.
there's a bunch of different races and Jewish is one of them.
I don't feel
some
like that,
Jewish
no.
people, but it is a thing, right? It's a thing that some people believe, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah, it's a thing you can join.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could join being Asian.
Whoopi Goldberg did it successfully, and she's never looked back. She called the Holocaust white on white crime, and she's
She did.
You don't remember that? Oh
yeah,
yeah.
she did. It was insane.
Basically, that's just some white people shit.
It wasn't about race. What?
Because
What?
she did the homework of anti-racism that she was. You were supposed to read those dumb fuck books, but no one believes, by the way, anymore. It's done. You're supposed to learn that anti-racism. Anti-racism is that it's impossible.
Is that done?
Oh, it's false.
Everybody's done with anti-racism?
No. There's still people embedded like ticks that are, but it's over. Because now a bunch of people have finally figured out to have a goddamn lawsuit because all this weird ass shit was never legal. And it's been rejected by, remember California, I think, what did they strike down here? Or they didn't vote for? Like, I I'm blanking out. But now there's lawsuits up and down, and people are winning them. You must have talked this. You had James Lindsay on? He didn't bring up like any of this of that somebody from a college just got like $25 million. Oh, Starbucks. Remember the girl from Starbucks, the manager, and these guys wanted to use the bathroom, and it was during the BLM times,
Right.
And it came out that the higher ups were like, she didn't really have any. They were like, we can't fire a black person, so just fire the white manager. So it looks like we fire. So their thinking is not about their racial feelings. They're like optics in this media time. So that's what's so gross about bringing these corporations into these moral things, because none of them are moral.
Right.
And it's like Mr. Burns. You ever see when Mr. Burns turned good on Simpsons? And he made little Lisa slurry, and she's like, Jesus, you're worse when you're trying to be good.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, well, they're only about money. And if you attach money to a DEI score and say, well, this is how you get tax breaks, and this is how you
perverse incentives.
Yeah, it's very perverse. And it's all just a control thing. And it's very ingenious. And it's next door neighbors to a social credit score, right? A DEI score is a corporate score that's
It's not even as good.
very similar to the way the real problem would be is we institute that nationwide.
Okay, we already
For
have
people, for individuals.
So we already have that. First of all, there's a whole bunch of people that are debanked. The people that I don't even like, many of them, some that I do, and they've already once to the very concept of shadow banning. Ian with he was there with Tell, Ian Finance.
Sure.
So he got his account shadow banned. He goes, why would it be shadow banned? And it's like, he said like 4 things that are definitely going to get you shadow banned that are not offensive even, but they're things that you shouldn't bring up, like around COVID,
Right.
And even now on Zuckerberg's platforms that you're going to be. But why is shadow banning a thing? How is that? How did anyone who isn't a piece of shit go along with the idea that we don't have to tell you what you did, and we're not going to tell you what we're doing to you, and that's our right to do that? Okay.
Well, not only that, but they're all agreeing that they're going to do something to throttle the opinions of people that have problematic opinions in their eyes, but it's not illegal.
How's it working out for you?
So it doesn't violate any of the any of the agreements that you sign.
Well,
you signed
away all your rights to everything already, so go fuck yourself. But how's that work? You could do all that goofy shit you want, but Malice is right in that white pill thing. The shit collapses under its weight because you can only go so long telling people to ignore reality. You know how the Soviet Union collapsed from everybody. Like, we're getting to the stage now where people go, we all know it's a scam. And the next stage after that is like, wait, why am I saying we all know it's a scam about all the things? Like, it's not too far. Next lockdown, you lock people down, they got nothing to do but look into shit. That's why a lot of prisoners know like more current events than Bill Maher. Like people that have been down for 20 years because there's nothing to do but read and learn things if you're smart. So they did that all of society. So some people, and they said, don't do your own research, which is such a don't go into daddy's forbidden closet of mystery. Oh, okay, I won't. Don't look into Hillary's email.
Yeah, that's a hilarious one, to infantilize people to the point where you're telling them, don't research things.
Yeah.
We'll handle that. We're the professionals. Meanwhile, we lie all the time.
They're doing to us what they did to Haiti. Yeah. And the shit we do to other countries, they're going to do to you. So the shit we did to Haiti, which is never let them have their own leaders and coup them when they had one elected one, that's us now. Now that's us. We're going to pass a law so you can't vote for the guy you want. Why is he even being allowed to run at all if it's such a fascism is coming? I don't even understand the messages are so mixed. And the only way to believe them is to be highly frightened all the time.
New York Times has just started doing this new thing on Instagram where they take the actual writers and they have the writers talk about the issues.
I'm leaving.
And when you see they don't understand what they're doing. This is exactly who we thought was writing these things. It's like this very effeminate guy and this woman that it's like the kind of woman that seems like she would
never done this.
Do at a party, like talk down to you, and it's
just who you thought.
Yeah, exactly. The type of people that would, these ultra liberal, out of touch people.
Yeah,
and these people are talking about. One of the guys was talking about Donald Trump's words being taken out of context, that it would be a bloodbath because he was talking about the auto industry and the economy. And then this guy starts bringing up other episodes of violent rhetoric. It's hilarious. But You
Yeah,
gotta watch
guys.
this. Look, give me some volume. Give me some
God,
volume.
well,
No,
what I
hold
guessed.
on.
Seized on those comments and said they were an example of him calling for political violence or predicting violent actions if he didn't win in November. His supporters said that those comments were taken out of context.
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Trump has a history of using violent rhetoric dating back to his 2016 campaign. That language took on new significance after the January 6th attack on the Capitol in 2021. And throughout his third campaign for president, he's been getting a lot of attention for the way he talks about violence and retribution on the trail. He suggested that a general should be...
So this is the New York Times.
It's all falling apart.
This is these hard-nosed reporters with a cup of coffee that are like fucking chasing down Lees, and they're pulling their hair out, and they're meeting people in back alleyways. This is Woodward and Bernstein.
Do people think that's
this
still...
is Watergate?
Like
No, but I mean they're essentially like ultra hard left activists that are masquerading as journalists, and everything has their opinion on it. Every front page article.
Yeah, they're also masquerading as activists. They're bourgeois twits.
Yeah.
They have a lifestyle brand, which is I'm a Sex in the City guy or gal, and I work in the paper. They do the same amount of work as when you see those A Day in the Life at Google. First they go to the chair.
It's Twitter. Yeah, that video.
Whatever.
That video is amazing.
Yeah, and they don't even make that. Well, New York Times, that's the big time. So all the plum jobs, like. It's kind of similar to when people were mad that Seinfeld, they were like demanding to know why riding in to get coffee with Seinfeld in cars isn't diverse enough.
Yeah.
And he goes, because Seinfeld, every time they bring these things up to him, I love his fucking response to that. But at a place like the New York Times, they have to go, oh, we need to bring these. So all like, how exactly you put it, you could guess what they look like. All of them have moved up from like the Gamergate, which at the time I was an adult and I was like, I don't care about this. But we're moving up in the world of media because where's the money coming from? You got to hope you do well enough at making little smear articles on a shitty video game website to get picked for the big leagues. And some people did. Yeah. And they've been moving up. And then like me, I'm, oh my God, 20 years have passed. And then I see like, that's that little twerp. Like if the one that got Shane fired actually went somewhere in life. If I find, like, there's people like him that work with the DHS about the terrorism of, saying whatever the fuck this idiot's referring to.
Well, yeah, they've become embedded in the intelligence community.
Well, it's all a thing of like your career, right? If you want your career, you can either say the truth about a thing, or you can worry. Oh, you must not want to have a good career.
Yeah.
Oh, your career. All people have to do is not be a punk to their career. I'm not saying careers don't matter. I'm saying I will never be a bitch to a fucking career. Who would do that?
Yeah, but you don't have to. See, the difference between you and a guy working in government, it's very stark contrast.
Oh, no, in government,
You're
you
a
have...
comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even comedian incentives got perverted. Like I work in government at a certain point.
Did they, though?
Yeah, well, okay.
They only did with people that suck. They didn't with good comics.
Okay, I don't mean like I would never say that dumb shit. Be like woke is killing comedy. No, comedy is a thing that's been around the whole time. What it'll kill is like your Disney fucking corporate figuring out how to sell it to people. Yeah, that's killing that.
Yeah, the movies.
Right, but not stand-up's the lowest rung, dude. This is the one like, I see it. We were laughing last night. I was only telling Ian about people go, hey, he's a failed comic. What I think they mean is...
Who said that?
Oh, people, it's like an insult people throw around.
To who? About who?
Well, the example I'm thinking of why I say this is because I sidekick on Jimmy's show, there's a bunch of people that are like hardcore blue no matter who that were like friends of his and mine that are like, fuck you, you're despicable. Like this unbelievable, it's your duty. Like it's your duty to vote for the lesser of two evils. Remember the 2016 shit of like the moral outrage, right? And then... But your choices are, I didn't pick the right evil for you. And you're judging me for that.
Because you didn't take a stand in the right
direction.
There's
nobody who's not evil.
That's the only way it's going to work out.
They don't even say
us.
the right. They don't say the right direction. Right. They go the less evil direction. Like my heart's supposed to swell with emotion.
Also, you're not supposed to stand up and say, hey, both of these things suck. Because if you do, then you're on the wrong side.
But mine's better though. Admit that. Yeah. Mine thing's marginally better.
That's
and I cling to that like a child.
They always want to talk about that. If you talk about Biden being corrupt, there was oh my God, in comparison to Trump? Like, why are we comparing him to Trump? Let's pretend Trump was never born. If Trump was never born and it was Biden versus, fill in the blanks.
How long was Trump in government?
RFK Jr.
How long was Trump in government?
If you have just Trump, Biden versus any politician, if they were just running and they get to pull up all this shit that he did while he was vice president, all this shit his son was involved in, all the stuff that they absolutely know, like unaccounted for millions. Where did all that money go? How did these people get all this money? Like, what were you doing?
They all do that.
How much were you getting paid? Why were you getting paid so much for this in university where you had a job where you never showed up? And
right.
Anybody else that was a Democrat, if Biden wasn't president, like if Obama was running against Biden, imagine a world where he wouldn't get taken down by
It
all
was
this.
like that. He ran, that's who he was before he became vice president. And
Well, that's who
everybody
he was in 1988.
His nickname was Uncle. His Uncle Joe. That's not because you're good. They call you Uncle Joe.
What do you mean? Why? What is Uncle?
He was-
'Cause
remember-
he's creepy? Like creepy Uncle? Is that what
Remember,
you're saying?
Obama would go, "Oh, that's Uncle Joe," because Biden was like, "Get a shotgun." You remember those clips that would go around where he was like,
But that's all. That was when he was running for 2020, wasn't it?
No. When he was Obama's vice president, and he's a gaffe machine. Biden would say goofy shit.
Yeah.
This
He
one
always says goofy shit.
This is when his brain worked.
Yeah.
And the White House was hugely embarrassed by it all the time, and the way they would do the pitch about it, like, "That's Uncle Joe," that's how they would pitch him. And then he was a joke.
So you're saying Uncle is like he's old or goofy or dumb?
Like how I'm an unmarried uncle of 2,
I've never heard Uncle used as a pejorative before. That's why I'm confused.
like a crazy uncle.
Okay, crazy
Yeah.
uncle, but
'Cause your
just
martial arts
saying
background?
Uncle Joe. No, like Uncle Joey. We call Joey Uncle Joey. Everybody calls Ted Nugent Uncle Ted.
But when they say that's because you're thinking about it like a poor person right now. From their standpoint, their standpoint is a condescending. Oh, that's that wacky uncle.
Yeah.
That real upper class view of calling. You're talking about it like the way someone from a normal place and neighborhood thinks about family.
Yeah.
That's not how they think about it. But I shouldn't even brought up uncle. It's first of all, if Trump's only been in government for how long? Biden's been there for 50 years. And we can go easily look up all the damage he did to all the people.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many undecideds and various things,
This
because
is my point about it. Let's pretend Trump doesn't exist. Pretend Trump doesn't exist.
I would like to.
And then tell me, how come RFK Jr. can't get on the primary? Just tell me. If this is a real democracy, you tell me why this guy, who's a Kennedy, who's an environmental attorney, who's, even though he's got this voice issue, he's extremely articulate.
Yeah.
Very good speaker.
Yeah.
Very good recall of controversial ideas, but who the fuck doesn't have controversial ideas in the world of 2024? Who doesn't have controversial ideas?
the guy knows what the fuck he's talking about when he talks. When he
Right.
talks, you could hear a guy who knows what the fuck he's
Right.
talking about.
That guy from the New York Times, in my world, has controversial ideas. I think what he's saying is controversial about, taking things out of context, talking about violent rhetoric. By the way, Biden and Obama in 2020 were both talking about who could beat each other up. Why? Because
I was
they're
thinking that too.
dumb old dudes.
I'll go
They're
behind the
dumb old
woodshed.
dudes. So, but when he's saying I like to punch him in his mouth, that's what he's talking about. And when he's saying that people should be executed for treason, well, guess what?
Don't make me like him.
Hold on. That is actually the fucking. That's what happens to you if you get tried and convicted for treason.
Yeah, right.
That's the punishment.
Yeah.
The punishment is execution. It's kind of always been execution.
No shit.
So
They
what
don't know
is, so
anything.
saying that that's violent rhetoric, what that guy's saying in my mind is like trying to look, he says bad enough things as it is. Instead of distorting what he says, which now makes me not trust you, just say what is actually going on.
Yes.
And also talk about the evidence that shows that Biden is insanely corrupt. Because both of those things are true too. And if you don't want to talk about one because you think it props up the other, you're a part of the problem. You're infantilizing the whole country and treating us like we're children.
That's right.
And we want to know, why didn't RFK, why couldn't he get in the primaries?
Right.
Like, if this is real, if democracy is real, you guys don't just get to decide who runs your party against the will of the entire United States.
But they're experts.
But isn't that insane that no one has a problem with that, but everyone thinks that if Trump gets into office, he's going to become a dictator?
You've been talking to De Niro again.
I don't even listen. When De Niro starts talking about Trump, I love him too much. I change the channel.
Is he like you ever see Being There with Peter Sellers?
I think he and Trump hate each other personally. I think that's what that is. Yeah, I think it probably. What are the odds?
He seems mentally handicapped. I'm not kidding. He seems I don't know. I have a feel he doesn't know about. He was on Bill Maher. Bill Maher has him on to ask him. It's crazy that Bill Maher would ask him anything. You know, there's a National Guard in the fucking subways and shit.
Yeah.
So Bill asks him, "What do you think about it?" He goes, "I don't know. I don't know about that. If there's anything I can do to help."
All I should be asking Robert De Niro about is two things: awesome movies and divorce.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me what happened to you.
I would love to ask him about that.
With the divorce, tell me what happened if you want to talk about it, and tell me what happened to you with these awesome fucking movies. I don't need to know jack shit about his politics.
Well, he doesn't. That's the thing. He just tells you he feels a way. That's all he's got to say.
Yeah, but it's almost unfair to have a guy like that on a public show and talk to him about politics.
Do you know what it reminds me of? When the beauty pageant contestant can't pick a thing on a map?
Yes.
And they're making fun of her?
Yes.
Right? They mock her. And I'm like, is that fair to do to her? That's not her area.
Well, they made her have a speech and she got stuck in a loop and she couldn't get out. Remember?
Yes.
She didn't. Yep. Remember, she didn't know what to say. She's like, and then I think she's panicked.
Women need to do more better. She was right.
She's locked up. She locked up. But everybody was making it seem that she locked up because she's a complete and fucking total idiot. But that's not.
She's in a pretty contest.
Not only, but that's not just that, dude. Anybody could get locked up like that. You're on stage in front of people with TV cameras pointed at you. You've never experienced that in your life, and you have a panic attack. It doesn't mean you're an idiot, and that's also Robert De Niro.
Yeah, it's
the
wrong
same
element.
thing.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, why is he talking about this? Why is he talking about this publicly? If you're going to come out and say that you have a really deep-seated hatred for one of the two people running for president, and you can't just be, he's a bully, he's a piece of shit, I hate him. I think you probably, if you're going to express yourself about it and alienate 50% of the country, which it seems like it is, you're going to have to do better than that. You should have some specific things. Like he did some real estate deals with people in New York. Let me tell you what he did to fuck people over.
I would love to hear it.
He did this and that. Let me tell you what he did that was fraud. He did this and that. Like if you're supporting what New York is doing to him right now, like guess what? You're going to shut down construction. You're going to shut down all these real estate developers who all overvalue their homes. Kevin Leary from Shark Tank was talking about that.
Dude, Kevin Leary was, we played the clip of this. CNN's like, but the girl wasn't dumb either. She knows he's right. They're playing a part on there. It's not that she's stupid. She goes, but isn't it? He goes, no, we won't do business here. This is crazy.
They cannot say anything positive about Trump, and they don't understand, but by doing that, it delegitimizes everything else they say because everyone knows they're coming at the fucking news with a slanted perspective. And there's no objective news. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You have right-wing Fox and you have left-wing everything else, and you will be fucking confused as shit if you watch both of them back to back.
I would just not watch any news for a long while because of that. It's just I have a job where now I have to learn things.
Dude, it's been wild watching you. Like, it's all the years that I've known you. All the years that I've known you to watch you like completely flip into full-on conspiracy mode. When we first met was probably like what 15 years ago or something like that, maybe more.
And I
maybe
would be
20.
frankly smug. I remember making fun of what's her name, Jim Carrey's ex-wife, because she thought her kid got autistic.
Jenny McCarthy, yeah.
And I had a joke. I'm like, it's just because he's half Canadian. It comes out like, but no, I was being glib. Being glib, just like Tom Cruise said to Matt Lauer, "You're being glib," and he was right.
I don't think that's not Jim Carrey's kid. That's someone else's kid.
And I was inaccurate in my mockery as well.
I'm pretty sure. But either way, the connection.
I should have looked into it a little.
The connection between vaccines and autism. If you just bring it up, people's hackles will get up, and they'll start getting
Don't even
upset
talk about
at
it.
you.
Yeah,
they get very upset at you, and everybody feels complicit because they vaccinate their kids, and everybody feels like they don't want to be attacked by being anti-science. science, and there's that pejorative that gets tossed around that they hit me with so many times during the pandemic. Anti-vax.
You were right, dude.
But not only that, it's not technically a vaccine.
Yeah,
it was an experimental medication that had never been widespread distributed to the fucking world. It had never been done.
Yeah, right. Well, biological women have never had dicks before, but it's a world of miracles now. Now we live in a world where anything is possible. Better, easier to clean women.
Did you see that the bike rider say, well, I don't know why you could say I'm not a biological woman. I'm a woman and I'm biological. So it's on my passport. It says I'm a female. Like,
that's a good.
No.
Oh,
no, you're a guy.
Touche, sir.
Yeah.
I'm biological and I'm a woman. That's great.
It's so dumb. And then whoever, I think it's Trevor Noah, lets him get away with it. But whoever the fuck it is, it's one of those guys. It's one of the late night guys. It might not have been Trevor Noah.
It could be any.
It might have been Jimmy Kimmel or no, it wasn't Jimmy. It wasn't. Maybe it was Jimmy Fallon. Either way, no, Seth. I'm gonna go through the whole fucking list of them.
Boy,
I think it was Seth. But either way, no, you're not. You can get a woman pregnant. This is so different. Don't say you're not a biological male, because now we're talking in terms of science. If you're getting me to say that you identify as a woman, so you're a woman, you want me to call you Jill.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that's.
But if you want to say you are now a biological woman, that's not true. And if it says on your passport now female, someone's lying. Okay? You're lying. You could say you want to be identified as a woman. Who gives a shit? But if you want to say you're a biological woman, that's nonsense.
Dude.
Now you're making me deny the scientific understanding of the human body that took forever to achieve.
Is that so much to ask?
They had to figure out chromosomes. They had to figure out the X and the Y's, and they had to figure out
it's incredible.
There's so much they had to work.
All of
anthropology. It is Trevor Noah. Look at him fucking pretending that makes sense. Look at the fucking guns on this savage. First of all,
Trevor.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
There's basically no published research on this question. However, there's good reason to think that there isn't, but I think it's irrelevant because we allow all kinds of competitive advantages within women's sport, because who gets singled out for scrutiny is based on.
By the way, Canadian. They're all goofy up there. It's Portland times 100 up there.
Deport these Canadians, man.
They lost it. Well, keep going with this. I want to hear the rest of it.
The fragile, weak, cis white woman from the rest of us.
The rest of us. You're a fucking dude. You're a fucking dude. That's not the full clip. The full clip is she goes, well, I am biological and I am a woman, so I'm a biological woman. Like, to just sit there and let someone say that, this is the problem with television.
Yeah, someone as bright as him, too, to sit there and not say something.
He's playing a game. They're playing a game. You got to stay within the lines, color within the lines.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble.
Well, look.
But obviously, like, nonsense. Fucking nonsense.
Dude, I'll call you a woman just for dressing too nice. I got no problem with that.
I have no idea. If that's what you'd like me to do, I will do it. That's not the problem. The problem is when you're trying to get me to deny science. You start saying shit like, I'm a biological woman. I should be able to compete with women in women's sports.
Men with 80 to 100 times as much testosterone at no competitive disadvantage. And that fact has not been picked up by the broader media landscape.
What was that fact?
So
what was that again? Back that up.
And relationship between natural testosterone and performance. There's no relationship whatsoever between unaltered natural endogenous testosterone and sport performance. About 0.5% of elite male track and field athletes at the world championship level are below the women's average of testosterone. Competing with men with 80 to 100 times as much testosterone at no competitive disadvantage. And that fact has not been picked up by the broader media landscape.
Oh, first of all, stop. Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. So here's the problem with what she's saying. First of all, there's many advantages of being biologically male. There's larger lungs, there's larger hearts, there's larger cardiovascular capacity. There's the more of an ability to generate force because you have larger, stronger bodies. this idea that because guys who are cycling, who, by the way, when they take their blood, let's try to understand when they're taking their blood. Because if they're taking their blood and measuring it during a fucking race, they're destroyed. Their bodies are destroyed. It's actually been argued that the Tour de France is actually safer to do on the drugs that Lance Armstrong took.
I believe
than
you.
not on the drugs, because it's so insane.
Yeah, no, I fully believe that, dude. That's why they all were doing it.
Exactly. Well, it's the only way to win. And if you took away, that was the thing about Lance Armstrong. Like, if you take away his titles, which they supposedly did, but nobody buys it now, and everybody knows, you take away his titles, you got to go to 18th place to find a guy who didn't get popped for steroids. It's a fucking
Everyone knows now?
It's a dirty. Yeah,
Good.
everyone knows. Everyone knows. No one gives a shit. Lance Armstrong can go anywhere now. Nobody gives a shit anymore.
Because I always
No
thought that
one's
was
mad.
fuck the fuck up.
It's fucked. Okay, males with the highest testosterone levels were significantly faster in the 20-meter and 30-meter sprint trials compared to males with lower testosterone levels. Shut the fuck up. You're lying.
Well, you know what makes me...
But for them to like just sit there and let that person say that and broadcast it on television, like, this isn't live. You can check that. You can stop.
Good point, dude.
Yeah, you
could research the thing. Yeah,
you're making a point, a very important point, saying that there's no competitive advantage for testosterone, which we all know to not be true. Which is why athletes get popped taking testosterone. There's a guy from the UFC.
Because it doesn't work.
There's a guy from the UFC, Walt Harris, one of the UFC heavyweights. He just got popped. He gets suspended for 4 fucking years because they found non-endogenous, the exogenous testosterone.
Oh, endogenous is
human body
I
produces
see.
it.
Okay.
They found they actually get it from wild yams, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, it's like
No shit.
Yeah, they make exogenous testosterone from wild yams.
I never heard that.
Yeah, it's like a wild. I believe it's a Mexican yam.
Yeah, it
so
is.
Fucking, yeah, like that's why Mexicans have so many kids eating those yams and fucking up a storm and starting cartels and doing fuck out. But yeah, so. When I had Nowitzki on, who was the head of USADA, who was the guy who busted Lance Armstrong, he was saying that conceivably they might be able to get around this by developing testosterone of animal origin, like extracting testosterone from animals, which could be possible. So, but right now that's theoretical. But we know that they can find out whether the testosterone that's in your system is exogenous or not, or endogenous, based entirely on the carbon isotope profile. So they do these carbon isotope tests, and then they can find out if it's from the wild yams or if it's from a human being.
With carbon, you measure all kind of shit. Well, look.
I might have butchered that, obviously, because I'm a moron, but I'm pretty
not as much
sure.
as that chick in that clip.
Yeah, well, that chick is a guy, okay, and a liar, and who's trying to justify what they're doing, dominating a woman's sport with their goofy fucking rainbow glasses on, that they're not just cheating, because what they're doing is cheating.
Joe,
and what he's doing is being a little fucking cheating supporter by letting this person say these lies, which he, as a fucking man, knows isn't true.
Well, okay, this is what I find unbelievable. So she just said some bullshit about, well, there's no study that shows this and that. So you know all this shit about testosterone. I saw the footage of how it works out in the thing.
Yeah,
we don't have to talk about none of that.
You won. You beat everybody.
I'm watching you like Captain America running around the black guy on the track in the second one. Are you like, whoa, how'd that guy beat that black guy that bad? Like, what? Is everybody fucking crazy?
You're just
We don't need to get into none of it.
You just happen to be a woman and be the best ever.
I go full force. The best move you can make is to be fully into it. And I say the Women Plus community, it's about time. Leave those losers in your wake. Dude, I find it hilarious. This is what the most like thing that has made me snap, over the last couple years.
This is the thing?
Well, no, this thing of...
This is the thing?
No, not this specific thing.
You've been snapping.
No, like
you've had a lot of things that made you snap.
What I mean
don't
by
think you can narrow it down.
I mean what snap. No, I can pinpoint it. I can fucking pinpoint it.
Really?
Yeah, and when I say snap, I mean I'm not on any side of left or right, and I'm not voting for president. I don't believe in any of it.
Right.
And I went back. My black friends in comedy in New York, although I haven't talked to Godfrey yet, I apologize to them personally for dismissing their conspiracy shit. Every black guy conspiracy that I was told that I went like, I apologize to them.
Like which one?
Oh, when I see Godfrey, I tell him, because Godfrey used to come on Race Wars with me and Shrod, and he'd go, yeah, they want to put black men in a dress. And I would go, nobody twisted Flip Wilson's arm. And little did I understand, of course they do. They want to put everyone in a dress except women. I'll give an apology because they want everyone emasculated.
Not very many white men. It's way more black men. If you think about the number of
whoever scares you the most,
right? Put him in a dress.
That's why The Rock has to be in a tutu at some point.
Put Brock Lesnar in a dress. Right.
If he wants to be in the movies, he should do that.
Right.
Because you're scary. Oh, he's a nice, not as scary.
Right.
You know.
Right. And especially these like feminine men that sound like New York Times reporters are the ones who are putting together these films. You know, it'd be great. Put The Rock in a tutu. Get his toes done.
Yeah.
Get his toes done. Get a Manny and a penny.
So much of that is that, by the way. No, that uptalk.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it was Violet.
Here's
and
my
he says
advice.
rhetoric.
Here's my basic advice. When anyone is talking about anything important and they talk like this, don't listen.
It means they're not sure what they're saying is real, so they're hedging
there's
in
a
their
way,
language.
Unless you're like deep in tech, unless you're like a programmer and you just like you're basically talking like, you know, people down here say y'all. You know, like if you live in Boston, you got a Boston accent. You know, if that's you, like, okay, you're just trapped.
You know who that guy is? On Twitter, he'll say y'all. Hey, y'all.
Right.
D-I,
hey, y'all.
D-I. But they're not. He's not from the South. They
Right.
don't want to say guys, so they say
gay guys can say y'all, whereas like
not that one.
A straight guy who's in a football, who lives in New York, they don't say y'all. Hey, y'all want to go get a fucking pizza?
D's want to get pizza.
Yeah.
You say use.
Use. Yeah, but you don't say y'all if you're a straight guy in New York City who's like from Long Island.
Maybe for a joke.
Who wants to go get pizza. Y'all want to get pizza? Like, what? Y'all. Who the fuck are you? You don't say that.
Is that appropriation?
But gay guys are allowed to appropriate Southern culture.
Well,
I've yet to say y'all unironically. I've been here for 4 years.
They're the fashion segment on our human centipede that is our country. So of course they digest it and then shit it into your mouth.
All the ladies in my family have adopted y'all. I find it too preposterous at 56 years old to step in and change my vernacular.
This is exactly what I was complaining about. Is what you just said right there. You're just gonna start saying y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
They like it. They like saying y'all. It's fun for them. They like being Texan, so it's cool. I don't have a problem with it, but they're also not on television talking about Gaza. Y'all need to understand that there are tunnels under all of those hospitals. Y'all need to know.
Y'all need to come up out of them tunnels, first of all.
Yeah, like, how about you tell Hamas enough? Because if you don't, that was the thing that drives me the most crazy. When people talk about, you know, well, Hamas is doing this and Hamas doing that. These people, they voted in Hamas. Like, these people are the poorest of poor, deprived of sanitation, education, proper hospital care, food. What the fuck are you talking about? How are they going to rise up? Just run out and get shot en masse until the Hamas runs out of bullets, and then you bludgeon them to death with rocks? What are you saying?
The voting for Hamas, by the way, they forced a vote there. They're like, you have to have a democratic process, and then they voted for Hamas the same way Fatah became a party. So that they voted, then they go, you voted wrong. We're putting you in a concentration camp. And so, okay, why did you have them have a vote if there was it was like voting for Trump. Trump is Hamas here for like Keith Olbermann kind of people. Trump is voting for Trump is voting for Hamas. It was in 2016. That's why they've been punishing us with shitty movies because they're like, you're Hamas. Now, I want to just
punishing us with shitty movies.
Yeah, everybody in 2016 when they were like, we need to destroy all masculinity on this planet in all of media because you are Hamas, frankly, all of you, for voting Trump.
I want to thank them for that because it really made my ratings go up. Because it was like a bottleneck. It was like there was
no. Yeah,
it's like you couldn't be a guy. You could be a guy.
That's where the hatred. That's where the hatred is. Yeah,
that's part of it.
But
it's foolish. It's so foolish.
It's threatening to people.
It's only threatening to morons.
That's right.
All different perspectives are only threatening to morons unless those people with that different perspective are trying to control your life or trying to fucking cheat and pretend that they're a girl and dominate girl sports.
It just takes rainbow glasses. All you got to do.
Yeah, rainbow glasses and you're in.
I extra believe you because you
with
have
your jacked arms. How much can that dude deadlift? That dude looks like a house. Does that dude still have a dick? That's what I want to know. Which is the most crazy one.
I hope so, because
that is the most crazy one, that they can have sex with women and
His
claim
girl
they're a
dick?
woman.
his girl dick.
His sheeness, and then go into the locker rooms and wave that dick around everybody's face, and everybody's
What's the
fine with
problem?
it. It's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more than fine with it.
Bro, I had no idea this was even going down until I criticized that fighter, that Fallon Fox fighter that fought twice without telling women that she was trans.
It's like a dating.
Twice.
It's like how on a dating service you're not supposed to say. You're like, can you tell me if? Dude, it's
Hilarious.
the same. Yeah.
I saw comics arguing that. Yeah, you shouldn't have to tell people. Like, what the fuck are you saying? You should have to tell people if you owe taxes. You should have to tell people everything. You should have to tell people everything. If you're getting involved with a woman and you're really into her and she's really cool, and let's say you make $150,000 a year, you're doing great. You're out there, and you find out this lady is like $90,000 in debt to the IRS.
Yeah.
You're like, what? And you're thinking about getting married. You're like, now I take that on?
Hey,
why are you so in debt? What the fuck?
I feel like it's a scam. Like I got played if I found out some shit like that. I don't think I should have to tell a woman that I'm married.
But if you're a guy and you find out that this person that you're falling in love, you're thinking about having a family with, and God, she's so cool. And then you go, oh, you have a dick? That seems like you should tell people that.
Yeah, well, Jerry Springer tried to handle those disputes back in the day.
My favorite one is there's this trans guy with a hijab on and says, people are saying, why are you cosplaying? I am not cosplaying. Cosplaying is when you're pretending to be something you're not. I am a Muslim woman. That's why I am wearing the traditional Muslim. And then there's this like lady, this Middle Eastern lady goes, I will pay for a one-trip round first class ticket for you to go there. You won't need round trip because you're not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
You know what it is? It's like you should have gone with more burqa, dude. Put a full burqa.
Right.
Because
cover the whole deal.
Because that's like an elegant wearable pronoun with no surgery, with the full deal.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's a woman. And you're like, does she have a dick? I don't know. I'm not her husband.
Either way, at the end of the day, you're flying off a fucking roof. like this thing. This is a game that you can only play in America. You try playing that in these countries that you support Hamas. Do you really? Okay. Yeah, we support Hamas. Go over there. Go over there with these fucking rainbow shirts on and watch what they do to you. Like, what are you fucking saying?
You go to most parts of. You saw Bruno, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He almost got beaten to death for walking around all gay in that Hasidic area, and he tried to go provoke in Syria like Islamic terrorists by being Bruno, and he would show them gay porn, and they would go, "Oh, it's Jean Kiriakou tells the story. He was a consultant." And they would go, oh, that is no good. They put on their glasses, these like old ass terrorists. He'll go extra mile to find the people for the thing. And they'll look and they'll go, no, that is no good. When he went to Israel, that dude never breaks character. He had to break character to tell the yeshiva students, hey, no, I'm Sacha Cohen. So they didn't beat him to death. So like anybody trying to, look, the gay thing, attaching it to a cause is the same as if my friend's an animator and the animators union has declared a position on Gaza. That's to break their union, to attach shit that has nothing to do with you. If we're queers for Palestine, I almost think it's an op or something, because that's deliberately attaching something that is, you don't attach your cause. BLM, we support Hamas. They were very forthcoming right in the beginning, and a bunch of dippy liberal Jews gave them money, didn't you? And they told you they liked Hamas, but just now you're mad. You just now figured out because you don't listen to people. So, like, every cause, it's important. Oh, that is important. You're gay. It should be its own thing. Don't try to attach it to a thing that's not local with you, that is a bunch of people dying. That's a really important thing on its own.
Yeah.
But that's how people think, is you try to, like how we do laws, you put earmarks. You don't try to earmark other people's fucking rights thing with your rights.
Supporting Hamas is insane.
Well, then why did Bibi do it?
Palestine. Yeah, right. That's the crazy thing that Dave Smith told me about. The fact
it's not top secret.
Not only that is it not top secret, that people were in the streets of Israel.
They're about to overthrow
protesting, hundreds of thousands of people in the streets for months before October 7th.
That's why I say read Israeli news. He was about to be out of office.
It shows you like how segmented all this shit is, because it used to be that woke included like any form of anti-Semitism.
You're exactly fucking right.
Right?
October 7th was when the woke ended. Was October 7th.
Yeah.
Because that's when a bunch of people found out that what Whoopi said was right. White on white violence, all like they're like, oh, I thought I was. John Stewart's a classic, like, oh, I'm like, we should be together. We're like, no, and they told you in BLM times, by the way, if you paid attention, but you dismissed them because you're like, you don't. I'm telling you, that was the end of it, because now a bunch of all this woke shit. People go to the left, and I don't believe I think it's a puppet show. I don't think we have any real thing besides the corporation, but. They would push this shit like we're all in this together, and then that's when you start seeing the Instagrams of like, I stood with immigrants because blah blah blah, I stood with BLM and I stood with gays, and now I stand alone because I am a Jew. Did you see that getting passed around?
Yeah.
And that's the moment when I knew right there. It was like, oh, you're like that ADL piece of shit was shocked. You're not going to back us up all the way on this thing? We followed you on all your crazy shit.
What? ADL thing with who?
The guy from the ADL was furious on October 7th when they went on Warpath because the wokies weren't supporting Israel. The ADL supported that kind of bullshit we just watched.
Right.
They supported that.
Right.
They supported BLM.
Right.
So now this is how you repay us, by not going along with everything we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying woke died on that day. It should have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah, people understand that it's just crazy now.
The lefties
it's just tribal. It's very tribal, and it's very like, even in the right. Like, look what's going on with Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro.
Dude.
Like, what did she say? I want to know what she was fired for. Because was it criticism of Israel? Did she show that Edward Snowden video that he put up on Twitter that shows them drone bombing those kids those men, I should say, unarmed people that were walking towards the rubble that clearly weren't causing any danger to anybody?
Yeah, right.
They just bombed them.
Yeah, no, it's your duty. It's just like for Biden or whoever you like, you're supposed to cover up for them. Because
the whole thing is like, they were always saying they're only targeting Hamas and everybody else is a casualty. Well, if those guys are just unarmed civilians and they're walking alone, that's what they appear to be.
Dresden.
And you just blast them from the sky with robots.
This is the tragedy of war.
Yeah, this is insane. And no one knows what to think now, because if you can't talk about that, if you can't say that's real, then you're saying that genocide is okay as long as we're doing it. And
that is what we're saying.
And if you're saying that from a perspective of someone who literally went through the Holocaust, or your people, your tribe, went through the fucking Holocaust, and now you're willing to do it?
I hope the irony's not lost on you.
It's so nuts. It's so hard to imagine that someone where a culture, like a country, was like officially founded in, what, 47?
48.
48? Okay. Officially founded. So that's so recent. and you guys are willing to do what was done to you that led you to believe that you needed to start your own country? You're willing to do that, at least on a small scale, in Gaza. Like, there's nothing left. If you see the videos, let's see some recent footage of Gaza, because they stopped bombing? I know people are calling for ceasefires. Well, what I think is going to help? In San Francisco, the city council all got together with masks on, and they voted on a ceasefire. And then they all danced. Yes, they won. The ceasefire passed. The ceasefire passed, which is really important. And when it passed, they were all these fucking freaks with blue hair were all dancing around with masks on. Please show that, because it's one of the most wonderful things on the internet. These people are swimming in a sea of human shit with needles flying by like logs on a raging river.
With the wrong kind of mask on.
Everyone's in a tent. Robberies are out of control. The fucking stores have all moved out of your town. And what'd you vote on? You vote on a ceasefire in Gaza. You got to see it, though. You got to see it. Watch. I got to find it. Okay. It's so preposterous it must be readily available. Unless the Google is trying to hide the truth.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of how our own government, instead of fixing any of this, just gave all our money to Ukraine. It's very similar. The concern for somewhere else that's not your immediate area, you should probably, like, clean your room, like Jordan Peterson says.
Yeah.
America, the Pentagon, they need, how about we clean our room?
How about you clean your fucking room, bitch?
There's people all over the fucking floor. Like,
Well, how about when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco and they did clean it?
Can he come
they
more
did
often?
clean it. Hey, can you get an apartment there? If Xi Jinping got a penthouse in San Francisco, it would clean up the whole problem.
Hey, buddy, when you coming back?
What a baller Xi Jinping is. He can force the enemy to clean up their horrible city.
He didn't have to force.
Okay,
They wanted to.
Look at these freaks. Look at these freaks.
Anti-Palestinian sentiments, Islamophobia, and xenophobia.
Not
everyone agrees with this resolution.
But people are fighting.
But look at them all dancing around. When they all have masks on. Look at these fucking crackpots.
Those are the right masks.
Yeah, the fucking KN,
the face
whatever the fuck
yarmulke.
they are. Look at these fucking people. They're literally insane. All of them mentally ill, wearing masks. But those liberals, they're fucking blue to the death. They're in a full-on suicide cult. They've watched the decay of their city and they like it. They're happy until they get personally attacked, and then they wake up. But until they get personally attacked, they are all in on equity. And look at all these fucking freaks. They have the Palestinian traditional scarves on and shit.
God, look at all
these people are such crackpots. Look
at all the dead eggs, and that's just the guys.
Well, how many of those guys are guys? I mean, who knows what's going on with that group
We got
of people.
3 generations for it's those big head gray aliens. That's if you're wondering what are they turning into.
I wonder how many trans men become conservative. They start juicing them up with testosterone. They go, you know what? These fucking guys are making a point. You know, it is all about discipline and hard work. I wonder what like the political leanings of trans men are.
So Reddit comment on the video says they're covering their faces on purpose so they don't get identified.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Those people wear those goddamn things everywhere. And why kill the fun, Jamie? Why even pull that up? Why even inform me of the truth? When
These
it's just
people made a difference. Can we celebrate it?
I'm trying to have a biased worldview like the New York Times. Just in a different direction.
Should I cut my subscription off? I want the worldview I'm entitled to.
Listen, don't show up wearing scarves to be paid attention to and then want to cover your face, you fucking coward. That's part of the problem. It's part of the problem is that everybody wants to be performative, but nobody wants to take the heat. Put your fucking face out there, goddammit.
I wish,
this is nonsense. And people should know that you're a nonsense person. But they do know because they know that San Francisco is imploding. So you know just by watching the city.
That's why they moved there, so they could fucking like be a nonsense person.
Well, they probably were there forever. There's a lot of people that have been there forever. But then there's also like benefits to living there if you're a homeless person. They actually pay you money. They pay you money. There's a lot of services. Like they're just... There's a giant goddamn industry that's involved in homeless. And that's one of the things that Colion Noir uncovered on the show.
It's not Colin?
Well, his name's Collins. His real name's Collins. Yeah. Colion. Colion is his Instagram.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So anyway, he went to San Francisco and he was like, what is it, a funding issue? Like, what's going on? And he's like, this is crazy. And one of the people he's talking to was a lawyer, and he's a lawyer as well.
Oh.
And so when the guy was talking to him, he was saying, no, you don't understand. It's a scam. Like, there's a giant industry, and there's all these people that make hundreds of thousands a year working in the homeless department. They don't want to clean up the homeless because then their jobs go away. And if they're the only people in charge of cleaning up the homeless, it's basically like those Boeing mechanics that get to sign off on their own work. Like, oh, yeah, it's great. I did a great job.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why fucking planes are crashing out of the sky again. But that's what the whistleblower thing was all about.
No, I knew.
That's what the whistleblower was insinuating, was that they have done a horrible disservice by not having safety inspectors and instead letting the mechanics sign off on their own work. They're trying to save money and cut corners. And by doing that, he's saying this is super fucking dangerous. And he was saying all these problems that they found with planes. And then he decided that what he had done was so horrible that he needed to leave this earth. Because
he felt guilty for being a snitch.
Yeah, he also disparaged a great company and definitely wasn't
My grandfather
killed.
worked for them.
He definitely wasn't killed.
No, well, a lot of suicide.
Nose.
Oh.
Sorry, I've been sniffling.
Yeah, that one was a fun one, that story.
That's an important suicide. Like, if you're going to commit suicide, definitely do it before you testify.
Well, remember the guy that figured out how they were bringing crack into the hood, just as the rappers said, and he shot himself twice in the head because he felt so guilty?
No, you're conflating a few things. You're thinking about
Gary Webb, no?
Oh, that's Gary Webb. I was talking to Michael Rupert. He was another one.
Oh, no. Yeah, well.
He was the guy but Gary Webb did that as well. But Michael Rupert was actually a Los Angeles narcotics investigator.
And he's talking in the
Yes.
assembly. That's the guy who says
Right.
that. Right.
It was on C-SPAN, right?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about Gary Webb because we had a quote from him.
Right.
And
Gary Webb was the guy who shot himself in the head twice.
It happens.
Well, if you do it once, you probably should finish the job.
Hey,
if you fuck up, you blow the top of your head
I
off.
like
You're
to-
like, oh my God, I'm still alive.
I
Fuck
do a
this.
starter shot to see if I like it.
Yeah.
And then I see if I want to go all the
Wake
way.
up. Because first of all, you know how hard you get knocked out if you shot yourself in the head? It's not like you're just going to be fine.
I don't know.
You're
I would
going
never
out.
do that. Well,
Yeah.
he has a quote where he goes, I realized when he was reporting on that story, I had never reported anything important in my entire life until that. Because when that happens, when you shoot yourself twice in the head, that means you did report on a real thing. And sometimes you had no idea. Over and over I hear from people like Jay Bhattacharya, the doctor, where they find something wrong and they think everyone's going to be happy they found the problem. Because this is important. And no, it's bad for business. Just like the homeless thing you said, that's everything.
Yeah.
Everything is incentivized to keep the thing going. And
Exactly.
Not, and
it's all about money. And that's the number one curse of our culture and humanity. But it's also like the thing that makes people want to fight against it, which makes good people rise up. So you got like a bunch of factors that are happening at the same time, and it probably forces more of these good people to be more good and more just because they realize, like, hey, there really is evil in the world.
It's
there really
God's
is
anvil
construction.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, there's real. What'd you say?
God's anvil to hammer you out on.
Yeah. It's almost like you need something. I think there's always been something that people have been battling against. There's always been evil and good, at least in some sense of it. It gets so confusing when the good does evil to justify fighting the evil. It's like, okay, well, what are you? Are you in a rush to kill Hamas? Will you have to kill everybody else too? Like,
How about just truth and lies? Just to tell the truth, like, because good and evil. I believe in those things abstractly, but it's such a vague thing to say.
Right.
And there's
depends on what side you're on.
There's apparently radically different views on what constitutes that. Like that poor woman who's being persecuted in sports that you attacked earlier because of your phobia.
Yes.
That was evil.
That's evil.
You should feel ashamed that you said that she can't. Look, like I said, right now it's gotten so crazy that all you got to do is just not think about am I being a loose cannon by just pointing at the thing that's in front of my fucking face?
Right.
Just do that. Everybody could just start by doing that. By not, don't. All my friends back when.
The thing is that all these DEI scores that these corporations have, there's a giant percentage of the population that's under Sauron's eye all day long.
It's called slavery.
It is kind of a form of mental slavery. I mean, it's not. You could always quit. It's not real
It's
slavery,
the credit system.
But there's something about it that's so creepy. They're enforcing, for the first time in the history of our culture, they're enforcing an ideology on the masses, and they're changing our definitions of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, including men competing against women. And they've dabbled in minor attracted persons. They're dabbling in people who are two-spirit or elfkin or fucking... They're dabbling in the most extreme weird stuff just to sort of like prime you and get you ready for furries. Furries are fine.
I will never accept them.
Well,
never.
Furries are having a good time and they're dressing up like chipmunks. I'll tell you what, when Duncan and I did a podcast as furries, I got my respect for the furry community. Because it's hard to keep those things on. I can't imagine fucking with those things on. It gets hot. And this is a cool studio, The temperature's controlled.
This is so gross.
You put that thing on, dude, and you
know what a diaper furry is?
Claustrophobic. Yeah, they shit.
That's the lowest form of furry.
Oh, the regular ones shit in litter boxes,
No,
right?
I hunt them, so I'm going to tell you what to look for. You'll smell them coming. Now, Joe, I have a job, as you know, turning off people's smart houses for being racist. So the way I see it, it's a good thing.
Want to hear a furry story?
Yeah.
So this is a two-parter.
No, but yes.
So one, I will tell you. I know. One, we were in Pittsburgh for a UFC, and we just randomly happened to get there on the day there's a furry convention. So as we are driving,
What are the odds? Okay.
crazy odds. As we're driving from the airport, I'm in the rental car going, what the fuck is going on, dude?
You didn't
Why
know-
are there
did you-
so many mascots? No.
You didn't know what furries were?
No fucking idea. No idea. So finally we get to the hotel. The hotel bar, the manager guy, explains to us there's a furry convention.
What
you
year
guys
is this?
got lucky quite a few years ago.
What a way to find out.
At least, I mean, it's probably in the neighborhood of 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you just
So this no, the UFC popped in 2005. It's probably after that.
Any diapers?
So maybe I think I might be off. Maybe 15 years ago or 14. 15, anyway, quite a while, at least a decade ago, a long time ago. So I'm not that hip on furries. I
should
didn't
not be.
understand.
You absolutely
I
shouldn't
get
be.
there and the guy tells me that he had a request for someone to put a litter box in the. He goes, first of all, you're really lucky. You guys made reservations in advance because everything is sold out because of the furry convention. And I'm like, what? So he explains they all want their food delivered in bowls on the floor, and these people are all furries together in this one hotel. So they're acting out. They're in the lobby together. They're all furries. Everywhere we go, there's furries.
They're sicker than Cosby.
It was fun. And I mean, they were nice. I don't care if you dress like a fucking squirrel.
The bowl thing is you
It's
got to
weird.
participate in my weird act.
Well, it's a request. You know, you put the food in the bowl. I'm paying money.
Just
you know,
pay
I'm a
me.
freak.
I'll
Just
do
put
it.
put it on the ground.
You
I'll
get
give you
more
an
than
extra
that.
20.
Yeah.
So, but he told me that they wanted to put a litter box. One of the guys requested a litter box in the lobby so that they could piss in it. And he's like, no, you can't have a fucking litter box in the lobby. There's like sanitation issues. But he's like, dude, it's so crazy. So anyway, years go by. And I'm hanging out with a friend of mine in Utah in the mountains, elk hunting. And he tells me that his wife is a teacher at this school and that one of the parents had requested putting a litter box in the girl's bathroom because the girl identifies as a furry, so, or a cat or whatever. So I go, what? Are you fucking serious? So I talk about that on the podcast, and then people call bullshit. They say there's no
They
evidence.
won't believe it, yeah.
There's no evidence, but the attack, the amount of people that were calling bullshit was crazy.
Yeah.
And they were angry, and it got connected to
Sandusky.
trans stuff. So
Yeah.
somehow or another, me telling a story, my friend told me that his wife told him about this public school that she worked at, where they were in Utah, where they were saying that a mother was requesting a litter box.
Stochastic terrorism.
So
is what
I
you
go
did.
back to him and I say, okay, listen, man, I need to know.
Yeah.
Like, what? Ask your wife what actually happened. Okay. So the wife didn't work at that school anymore. This is because it was like a year or so ago, or maybe even more. So anyway, the wife says, what I recall was that a mother had requested that a litter box be installed in the girls' room. And I said, was a litter box ever installed? I don't think so, or I don't know. Okay, well, that's it. But the idea that people wouldn't want to shit in a litter box if you're dressing up like a furry, why is that so far-fetched that everyone's so angry?
It's not far-fetched.
And saying that I'm pumping out misinformation.
'Cause
When
it's not
I talked to a
far-fetched.
fucking manager of a hotel who told me personally he got a request to put a litter box in the lobby during a furry
Because
convention.
it's true. That's why.
But
The
why
truth.
are they so aggressive about that one? That seems so weird. I don't care if you want to wear a fucking chipmunk outfit and have sex with each other. Have a good time. If that's what you're both into, who cares?
For the same reason.
But why
yeah.
is it weird? If you are you saying that there's no kids out there that are so mentally ill that they want to use a litter box? Because I don't.
No, I'm
think
saying
you're
shut up
right.
about it. That's what I'm saying. Don't talk about it.
Right.
I'm transferring them to another parish.
But I don't think you're right. And I don't think anybody would be willing to say that there's no one out there who's not mentally ill enough to want to use a litter box. Because of course there is. There's a spectrum of mental illness. And
Well,
if
I'm saying it's not mentally ill. It's fine.
it's a
Do you understand the
identity.
depth of what?
Yes. Well, that's what gets really weird about the whole minor attracted persons thing. They're trying to slip that in as an identity. And people say, why are you talking about this? This is not real. No, it is real. You have to understand it seems so crazy. It seems crazy to me. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to talk about it because it makes you look like a fucking loon.
That's a good point.
But it is real, and there's recordings, there's video of politicians expressing how we have to recognize their identity as
I don't wanna
minor
see 'em.
attracted persons.
I won't look at it.
I've seen it. It's infuriating. And it's the same kind of people that you expect to be using those New York Times Instagram videos where they're talking about the story they're covering. It's the same kind of people. It's cult members.
When you said you could imagine what they look like, it reminded me of like back when, remember like all those famous nudes came out on fucking the Fappening, it was called?
Yes.
On the news.
Yes.
And so I was watching, some video came on my stream on YouTube about it, and I'm looking, and they're talking about, they hacked and got their stuff and their communications. And then immediately the guy, like the one guy that got arrested, he looked so much like what I imagined. He looked like an AI read my mind and drew him on the screen. That's amazing. And the big thing is autism is apparently is huge. And so shit like furries, and there's all these malleable people that are like, they're real smart about like making like lists and iceberg lists of shit.
Right.
But they're like 2-dimensional, like Sailor Moon brain. That's why I asked you, this is old, this reference. Mm-hmm. But Chris Chan, have you not? There's Ken Burns documentaries about it. That guy, or he's a woman now, but look, dude.
What are you talking about? You went in 30 different directions. What is Chris Chan? What?
It's the most documented human ever. You never heard of him, right?
No.
And then this is such an old ass reference. Like if somebody is young, you're like, yeah, I know about Chris Chan. Dude. But when I first
Do you know about Chris Chan, Jamie?
I can't say I've never seen the picture, but I don't really know the reference. No, I'm looking at. It's not.
Okay.
So what is the story?
It's too long to get into, but just I'm going to say he is. You should look it up yourself on. There's like a genius, Gino Samuel. This guy Jibby, great documentaries. He's the singularity. The thing that Ray Kurzweil would talk about in the future when our technology and we merge and whatever.
Right.
That guy or woman, he's the fucking singularity. That's where it goes. And so all the things you're talking about.
Singularity of woke.
Singularity of technology and humanity. It's like this weird autistic, always online fusion that shapes but you got to begin with the right clay, which is someone autistic, not being raised right.
Right.
And so every phase of it you can watch. And at some point someone told him that you can't, like, dude, it's unbelievable. I know exactly what you're talking about. It sounds crazy. Somebody convinced him you can't be held responsible for your personal actions if you transition. Because he's doing wild shit over like Sonic's arm color being changed, like really out of control. I can't even, you gotta just see it yourself. And so now I'm just gonna cut the end. He ended up raping his senile mother and going to jail. Here's where the story ends. It's like an inverse Jesus. Like instead of coming out of a virgin, he rapes his senile mother.
Oh God.
He's the singularity. That's what it is. So remember how they promised, oh, it's gonna be amazing. You're not gonna die. Even in Black Mirror, you'll be stored in a hard drive and live your best lesbian life. No, that's not what's going to happen. It's going to be this slow, like, just a person who is they're not all there, and they can be conditioned into anything by outside influences.
Right. And here's the question. Like, what contributing factors are leading to an increase in the amount of people that are autistic?
Anime.
Starbucks.
I got one word. Anime. Starbucks.
Like, what is it? What are the factors? How much of it is environmental? How much of it is people having kids at an older age?
Do you think it's like
contribute to it?
The Michael Keaton Batman, when the Joker talks and people would die laughing, and then Batman figured out it's not the makeup or the shampoo or the something. It's when you use combinations of them.
Yeah,
the chemical.
It's probably a combination.
So my guess it's like that.
Yeah, it's probably.
I'm
a
not
combination.
a doctor.
It's definitely probably a combination, but it seems like some medications seem to cause it. And no one wants to say that. And it's fucking bananas to watch people do mental gymnastics for pharmaceutical drug companies just to sort of substantiate and validate their own decisions that they've made.
Joe, I know.
Instead of just looking at it.
In New York, I met 3 adults, that all told me they were the first kid ever to be prescribed Prozac. 3 of them, it could be any of them. Yes, they all look like Woody Allen, even the chick. You know who told me he was on Prozac from the time he was a little kid? Henry Rollins. Really? Yeah. He was just fucking... They had him on Prozac when he was really young.
and I think they kind of cooked him.
I was on Ritalin.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Ritalin.
What's the difference in Ritalin? Ritalin is more of a speed. You're
that's
right,
Adderall.
Jamie. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like
Ritalin is basically Adderall.
It's the same kind of thing.
ADHD thing.
Yeah, I think-
Prozac is you're depressed, right?
That's a SSRI or something. No, maybe
I don't think it's an SSRI. Is
It's the one
Prozac an
before-
SSRI?
It's the one before Paxil, which is not the. Look,
Apparently,
give it to your kid. They can't.
Princess Leia loved Prozac so much that she wanted to be cremated and then put into an urn that's shaped like a Prozac pill.
Was she just being funny? That is
I
kind
think
of
she's
funny.
being funny. It's
That's
hilarious.
very funny.
So selective serotonin reuptake.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So that's Prozac. That's the term. Fluoxetine. So that is Prozac. So it is an SSRI. Why does the Prozac one make people more silly though? It seems to make people more speedy.
It does.
Yeah, I know a few people that have been on that one. That one makes you a little speedy, like where you're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" I don't want to mention names, but they get a little speedy. But the Ritalin one is like straight up speed,
But
and
the kids on
that's
it?
what Rollins was on.
Yeah, dude. The kids on it. My friend, I got a friend that he's from Georgia. They put it. He's a little kid, okay? Mm-hmm. He was put on 60 milligrams of Adderall a day as like an 8-year-old.
Oh my god!
Do you know how? I mean, that is like
That's so high. That seems so crazy,
dude. The panic attacks I've had from very small amounts of Adderall. Or a little kid, that must have. And he he has a real aversion to any of that kind of shit because of
course.
Because he's like who's the guy Johnny Depp played the Whitey? He's like Whitey Bulger. They tried out drugs on him, and now he hates all drugs.
Right,
I only like
Bulger was
murder.
a part of the Harvard LSD studies, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
isn't that weird how all these things? It's really odd.
I forgot about that. Whitey Bulger was a part of that.
Yeah, all these major people were. It's they say extraordinary claims.
Yeah,
you need extraordinary evidence. Okay, I agree with you. At this point, it would be extraordinary to claim that they're not lying to you all the time. And that thing you're talking about where people don't even want to talk. No, don't even talk about this. Someone asked for a litter box. Don't you know we're at war and there's a war on us, so we got to
No, this is
overlook
before the war stuff. This is quite, but they were just saying I was a liar. Like, look, I didn't lie. I told the story that my friend told me that his wife told him. I did never suspect that it was going to get the reaction that it got, though.
What do you think they look
and then
like?
it got connected to trans stuff. I think they look like New York Times reporters. But it's not. It's the thing is, it's like that it got connected was so odd. Like, what are we saying here? We're talking about a person that thinks they're a cat. Are you allowed to do that now? Like, what are we sneaking the door in on?
James Lindsay, he's got good videos about, because I didn't go to school to learn these important concepts. And so queer theory.
Oh, I've seen these.
So he has a great thing that explains it. The whole point of it, and you could kind of tell what the deal was. The point of queer theory was not, it's against being gay or trans. The point of queer theory is to destroy the concept of normal expressly in it.
Right.
We're oppositional to normality. So that's why you hear that's heteronormative. That's why they're saying gynophiles instead of you're straight. Or Gaga, what a downgrade.
It is right out of the Orwell playbook to change the definitions, change the words. It's right out of the book. And
he didn't write it as a playbook.
Everyone is, but everyone's following it. But everyone is just completely pretending that doesn't exist.
Well, just important people with good jobs.
Gynophiles? Bunch of
men's health.
gynophiles?
Dude, it's a men's health. This is a men's health article. But gynophiles second.
Gynophiles.
Wait, there's
Imagine
two. That
thinking
and another one.
The majority of the population has a mental illness.
Oh, that didn't take long. That didn't take long, didn't? Gynosexual, and gynophile.
Hilarious.
And there's dispute over what it means.
Are you gynophile? Are you fucking fascist?
You're crazy.
Ew.
He's a gynophile. See, there's file on it.
Imagine if it got to a point where you weren't supposed to tell someone if you're a guy or girl. You're supposed to figure it out in the bedroom, and it was like a surprise. Like, oh, a dick.
Oh, I hate this.
Yay.
This is what a pussy is?
Yeah.
Looks like someone put an M80 in a cat's asshole.
Oh, that too. The fake ones. But you wouldn't have to do that if you could just keep your dick. If you could keep your dick and still be 100% a woman, I think we'd have less of those surgeries.
We can.
That might be the best way to stop those surgeries. Because
back in the
they'll
day,
stop you from orgasming.
So I know I have 2 friends that have transitioned, but back in the day, my friend in Art Institute, because everybody, what are you going to cut your dick off? And my friend was like, no, most trans do not do that because exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
It's new. This is new where you get the bottom surgery, which I got to warn everybody, they haven't perfected it yet. If you want to not know some shit, you think a cat litter box at schools a disturbing request to know about? Look up the maintenance of that shit and maybe just think about keeping the dick like the classic trans way. This is an autistic thing.
Yeah.
You've had people on explaining it.
Yeah.
And so
Abigail
that's
Schreier.
and it's the pharma, dude. Never mind people's sexuality. Besides that queer theory bullshit, it's surgery and like the ethics of plastic surgeons, like what they did to Michael Jackson and Madonna's faces.
Yeah.
Imagine that on your kid's dick.
Exactly.
Or their tits.
Then they're not going to think your kids any differently than they think of some lady who's getting their 6th nose job.
Yeah.
They
it's
don't
yes
care.
and. They improv.
Yeah.
Yes and. Get another
you
one.
need that. We're not going to wait. We're not going to wait until you go to puberty.
They got the ethics of
We
veterinarians.
don't want you going through puberty. Like, we don't want...
There's no evidence.
How the fuck do you know? You don't even know this kid.
Well, we'll find out.
The whole thing is so insane, and when the lawsuits start rolling in, that's like one of the things is interesting. It's like New York Times started writing articles about detransitioners.
That's right.
And that's when it's getting serious. When these people feel like they have to step up and make articles about
That's
detransitioners.
running a sinking ship. That's the rats fleeing the sinking ship. I never said you should do that.
Someone online, I forget who it was, commented on Twitter, this is because the trial lawyers are now getting involved.
Finally.
Yeah, but that's probably the only thing that's going to take.
Also, their kids got, like that one chick from the New York Times, her kids developmentally slowed from masking. And she was a big time shut up. She was a big Xi Jinping about
Lena
things.
Wen? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And then she goes, oh, it affected you. Like when Dick Cheney realized that lesbianism's cool because he had a lesbian daughter. Oh.
But not only that, but then she started talking about how there's real evidence that most of the people that died and that they were called COVID deaths are not from COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we
so
knew
she
that a
started
long
talking
time
about
ago.
that. But she was talking about it on CNN. They were like, what are you saying? Like, she goes, I estimate the death to be about 30% of what the reported death rate is.
Like, you're supposed to have had, at this point, if you're following the science and not doing your 10 shots by now.
Is it 10?
It's up. It was 8 when I was making fun of this months ago. And now it's 10.
Imagine if you're really updated. How many people are actually updated? We should bring them in here. Their probably teeth are falling out. The fucking eyes are glowing. How much time do you have left?
Do you have track marks from vaccine?
You have like literal pink eye. You're fucking hemorrhaging inside your eyeballs. How many shots, if you're current with your COVID vaccine, how many shots would you have received if you started getting them in, what was it? July of 2020 or
Good luck with that search.
Whatever fucking year it was. Was it 2021? When did they start rolling them out?
Not soon enough.
It wasn't 2020.
You didn't need to take all that time with the testing. We'll try it.
Well, the best one was the ones that they released, the bivalent ones, where they didn't have any human testing.
Well, I guess they actually did, didn't they? In the law. Yeah.
Turns out it doesn't work at all. Not only does it not work at all, it actually works worse.
Well, good thing you can't sue.
Yeah.
Hey, good thing you can't sue. The one drug, they're probably more honest because you can't sue.
Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird that you can just like lie to people and you could force people to take things and then you could hide the side effects and you can't sue them? That seems, I don't want to say it seems corrupt because that seems like
that would be wrong.
I'm out of line.
You'd be way the fuck out of line.
Yeah.
That's like saying somebody asked for a litter box at their kid's school.
Yeah, that's out of line.
Shut up.
It's out of line. It's out of line. It's out of line. There's no way they would do that to you over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you keep falling for it like fucking Charlie Brown going for that football with Lucy.
I'm not smart. I'm that Charlie Brown stupid.
Yeah.
How do you still go take the kick now at this point?
God damn it. You tackle Lucy.
Like, I don't...
Take her out.
When are you going to do what Allah commanded us to do?
Yeah. Allah does not allow Lucy to play games with you. You're supposed to be able to beat her.
You look at her with her uncovered hair pulling a man's football away.
Allah is a sign of the fucking feminism rise. Or rather, Lucy is a sign of the feminism rise. Allah does not want that.
Well,
If Lucy's like dominating Charlie Brown, Allah would not
I
be
think
into
Allah
that.
just wants balance.
For
know?
sure, but he definitely wouldn't want Lucy kicking Charlie Brown's ass.
I mean, that would be.
Get the fuck out of here with that. This bitch needs to be put in her place.
What was Charlie Brown's crimes, though? Had he? It depends what he had done.
Good point. Charlie Brown was an infidel.
So that might be like the worst punishment we have for you.
Yeah, just be
Is
humiliated by a woman.
Well,
Maybe it's perfect.
a woman's gonna laugh at your dick.
Yeah, maybe it's perfect. It's just, I'm concerned that it seems like all this stuff is accelerating to
Yeah,
some sort of
I
a
love it.
boiling point. Do you love it?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because my girlfriend's like 10 or 12 years younger than me, so she has like hopes and shit. Honey, like, but now that when the bombs hit, like, I did drugs and drank and smoked for these healthy motherfuckers. Like, you're gonna die right with me. Oh, did you try to extend your life? We're all going together. I barely wore a condom.
That's what you're happy about? That you fucked
It's
your life up, so it's fine.
It's in fact, if it doesn't end, I'll be like, oh shit, I should have handled my life better.
Well, there's a lot of people that live like that, right? If the apocalypse never comes, like shit, all these preppers. Like,
We're in it
God
now,
damn it,
dude.
I spend all my time canning peaches and shit.
No, that's gonna be be nice to them because pretty soon.
Yeah, they're going to be the only ones. They're going to be the people that have like the ability to generate power with the sun.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they figured
They've already
out
off
like
the
0
grid.
point energy in their backyard while you're
The thing is,
dicking
like,
around with string theory.
people don't understand, like, power's only going to do you so good if society goes down because there'll be no more communication. And
Right.
that's the great, like, what are now is we're electronically connected to everybody. So you know how to get places, you know what's going on, you know the news, you know the weather, you know the fucking highways, you got a map, you
I think
got a
I do.
GPS. You're just, if you have a cell phone that works and you're in a car and you are traveling in this country, you have an incredible resource. And then all of a sudden that's gone. And you don't know where the fuck you are, and no one has a map, and no one knows how to read a map, even if you fucking had it. And now all of a sudden the world is a mystery again. Just like it was in the 1800s. The
Yeah.
world's a mystery. Everything over that hill is, who knows? It could be hostile Indians.
I feel like it's
Who
like that.
fucking knows?
I feel like it's like that with all of the stuff. I think it's.
Yeah.
I don't. What in the fuck can you trust? Every time I find out a new thing, I'm like, I have to have like a period of PTSD time
Right,
to
but at
digest
least
it.
there's a possibility of finding out. My point is, if all that shit goes down, it's not going to matter if you have power because you're not going to have any communication. It's
Yeah.
going to be gone. Everyone within one generation is going to be a fucking moron again. No one's going to have any idea of what they're going to have stories about what society used to be like.
Yeah.
And then look, we have stories now from my generation of what it was like growing up with an answering machine. We had an answering machine. People would call and they'd leave a message. It was crazy. And you could call your own house and listen to the message.
I had
It
a
was
pager.
wild.
I had a pager. What is it? The Old West?
I had a pager.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey Diaz had a pager forever. Like before, he got a phone later than anybody.
Dude, did you ever play I played. Jimmy had a show in Palm Springs, but it was at like a movie theater. You know, movie theaters will have.
Yeah, like comedy nights.
And I'm in there, and I'm like, wow, this is like what after the apocalypse. This is what this will be used for. The place with the
Right.
old movies will just be a guy and then like
Yeah, with a solar powered.
it felt like I was at the end. Like, oh, we had the apocalypse, and this is how we're getting by.
Dude, you got to realize, like, before Google, before internet searching, you had to take people's word for shit. You know, people would just tell you things. You'd be like, "What happened?" Like, imagine you with your conspiracies, but existing pre-internet. Like, you don't even know
Well, we
what
have the
happened to
Bible,
Haiti?
Joe.
Do you know what we did in Haiti? Like, everybody would be like, "What? This fucking Kurt's crazy."
You know what's fucking sad, dude? Like, first of all, we haven't even gotten to my conspiracies. Like my conspiracies.
What's the big one?
My biggest one?
Yeah.
I
Do you have a biggest
100%
one?
believe Eric, the dude for the Raytheon thing, that whistleblower that came out during the little titty peak of UFOs we had over the summer, when they were like, you know, they announced UFOs are real,
Right.
which is fucking crazy, by the way.
Right.
And no, I mean, yeah, I know you would give a shit, or like friends would. It's not enough information. It's really annoying, the amount of teasing of it. But meanwhile, the Titanic submarine imploded around the same time. everybody knew that's, be like, oh, it's a distraction. No, that's horseshit for nerds. A distraction's the Titanic submarine story or putting a butter dick on the Bud Light can. That's a quality America distraction, okay? Like, this stuff, they got you, just like Haiti. Haiti and UFOs, you're programmed not to care.
You're going all over the place. Raytheon UFO, that's what I asked you about. What are you talking about? Raytheon
the dude I was texting you about.
Which one?
Eric Hecker, the guy that came out in the Raytheon that said in Antarctica.
Right, you got to tell people what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
People that are listening have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I thought this is just that we're hanging out, not doing a show.
It's okay. I'm just trying to get
Someone's
you back on
gonna
track.
clip it.
So this guy is the guy that was on the Sean Ryan show, right? Yes. So he's talking about how he was I guess he was a fireman out there, and
yeah. He lives in Alaska.
And he was saying there's direct energy weapons.
Do you know about, you have a lot of physicists on the show, so I follow a lot of that. And so I already knew about the ice cube neutrino detector just from following science channels. Because without any of this
Let's listen to what he says, because it sounds so kooky. Are we allowed to?
That was the whole podcast. I got to find I'm looking for the clip, I think.
Oh, that was a whole podcast?
Yeah, I think that.
Okay. But anyway, it's interesting because I'm listening to the guy talk.
Here's a TikTok video. Well, this is still 4 minutes long.
Okay, but just give us a little something.
Third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I function in a dual-role capacity as a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibilities required me to be more informed than most of my crew and offered me complete access to the facilities. What I learned from this unique experience needs to be shared with the entire world. The technology at the South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. The Ice Cube Neutrino Detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes of the science as presented. But I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each. That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations, are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster-than-light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster-than-light vehicles moving throughout the system, we're going to need faster-than-light communications. This is that facility. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There was 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake-generating device as well. This is the weapons of war that we have to deal with now and what Raytheon's hiding.
Should I keep going?
No.
Remember Havana Syndrome?
But don't neutrino. So if it's a neutrino detector and a neutrino projector, don't neutrinos?
No, they're not projecting them. I don't think.
What
no.
is it projecting then? If it's
going extreme frequencies, so like ELF and all that shit.
Okay, so it detects neutrinos and then it projects something else. So it has a different thing. It does.
It can be used for many applications.
So the detector detects neutrinos. Right. That kind of makes sense. Like, why would you give a fuck about? But here's the question: like, why would you give a fuck and spend so much money to detect neutrinos in space? But if you say, oh, well, these UFOs emit neutrinos, like, oh, and you could eventually use them, because otherwise you have to be able to track something that instantaneously appears and disappears.
Well,
air traffic control for UFOs makes sense.
The legit, when I watched about Ice Cube when it first came out, nothing with this. It was the reason it caught my interest but for some reason, there's neutrinos that are coming out of the Earth and not from space. So I'll remember these little details, and every day's like goddamn Kaiser Soze. I figured out. I'm just sitting there.
I thought neutrinos just go right through everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
But look, I don't know how that
when
would
a neutrino interacts with the Antarctic ice, it creates other particles. In this event graphic, a muon was created that traveled through the detector almost at the speed of light. The pattern, the amount of light recorded by the ice cube sensors indicate the particle's direction and energy. Wow. So I get how you'd be interested in like finding out like the rays from space and what's going on. But also if they're got a dual purpose and you actually know that this can detect whatever the fuck these things are. What do you think those things are? And what do you think that
what is detecting?
No, the UAPs, UFOs. Do you think that a lot of them are ours?
Yeah.
A lot of them, right?
I'm sure a lot of them are ours.
But maybe some of them aren't.
Where would we get that technology from?
Right.
Where would we get that?
Right.
Because but the Tic Tac thing is so boring, but it's a fascinating topic. Those things appearing back in the 50s, that we didn't invent that in the fucking whatever they first saw them, we didn't invent that back then.
No, the thing is, like, when you have that guy that first started calling them flying saucers because they were skipping across the sky, like no one had that technology back then. No one had the technology to fly something at insane rates of speed, incredible maneuverability that's shaped like a disc. And that didn't exist. So at some point in time, it wasn't ours because we had propeller planes. The idea that we had these weapons of war and our weapons of war were propeller planes and we would open up the bottom of it. It's basically like a reverse convertible and just drop a bomb out of it. That's what they could look down. You could literally, you go, dwee, you would just like figure out, drop it now. Wee, boom.
We just save a bunch of Nazis just to figure out how to get beyond that, you know? But let's say it's they didn't find, like, let's say they did find something that wasn't us. What, do you think they'd tell you about it, or do you think they'd hide it for 80 years, like the JFK files are 60 years? The rest
you
of
see
the
what
JFK...
Trump said about the JFK files?
No, what?
He was talking to, what's that guy's name? Napolitano?
Oh, yeah.
And he said, he goes, why did you break that promise?
Yeah, why?
And he goes, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't tell anybody either.
I didn't see that.
That's what Trump said. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. That's what Trump said to that judge. If I think there's only one reason to hide it. The CIA killed Kennedy.
You know shit.
There's only one reason. And probably not just the CIA. Probably the mob. Probably a bunch of people. Probably
a lot of motive.
A lot of motive. A lot of people wanted him gone. They did not like him in Dallas. When he came to Dallas, Dallas was a red state, a red city in a red state, and they did not like him. He wasn't liked by everybody. This idea that he's liked by everybody, that's now that he's murdered.
Yeah, right. Everybody loves you after you get murdered.
Right. And if can you imagine if Obama got murdered, how much they would love him now? Oh my God! We'd be looking back. If we were looking at Trump and then Biden, this fucking bumbling old dead man.
Yeah.
We'd look back at the days when our president was like well spoken, and we'd be so pumped.
This is a silly place. We live in a silly place.
The silliest place.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. That's a crazy thing. I didn't know he said that. Like, I'm gonna go find that clip.
That's what he said. And that doesn't that read? Doesn't that register? Like, it has to be something that's so egregious that you would realize, like, this would throw the whole country into disarray. We would completely lose trust in what I think is necessary. I think the CIA is necessary. I just think they're out of control. I think the FBI is necessary. I just think you're not supposed to fucking do some of the shit.
Man?
How many people did you have in the fucking ground on January 6th? Tell us that.
I can't.
But I think for legitimate crimes and like dangerous fucking terrorists, that shit's important because sleeper cells are fucking real. Like they knew that something was going down in Russia and they tried to tell them. They tried to warn them. Stay away from any mass gatherings. The United States. The United States intelligence agencies were aware that something was going down in Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure they were aware. I'm sure
they warned them.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm sure that's what that was.
But listen, the point is that can serve a function. You do need some sort like this guy from the CIA was on Schultz's podcast. And
I don't like that guy.
Wait, his hair? What is it? He's the cool CIA guy.
Okay, I'm glad you said the hair.
Right away, I'm like, what are you doing?
He looks
cool
like
guy?
he's from Old School. He's the Dominican kid from Old School, the young one with that same hair and the fucking. But I'm watching him on I think it was Lex.
Lex
first.
Friedman? Yeah. It was Lex first, yeah.
And he goes, yeah, they all tell you this great story of how they look for people who are sociopaths. And he goes, they don't like me to say this, but I feel more comfortable around gangsters and something. And I'm like, I'm naive, as I said. And I go, well, I know why they don't want you to say that, because it sounds like you're a criminal like a gangster. But that's not why. It's so he looks cool for the kids because they're recruiting. It's recruiting season all the time. It's I'm a cool Grand Theft Auto, and look at my dumb fucking hair. That's what the fuck that is. I don't know what.
You got mad. Look at you.
Because that thing of warning them, dude, the spin of that story.
Let me get to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what he was saying was there's sleeper cells in like Chinese communities. And one of the, I forget which guy on Schultz's show brought that up. And he asked him, and then he was like, yes, it's true. And they're like, what? He's right. This is real. And that Chinese nationals will embed themselves in these like expat cultures. They're not expats. They're it's a China. What is it called when you have he explained it on the podcast. What's it called when you have a culture that is essentially they only speak Chinese, they hang out with only Chinese people, they're in a Chinese village that's inside of a city.
Alt-right?
There's a term for it. But there's a term for that, and he was saying that in that, like, we would do that. If there was something like that existed in a foreign country, of course we would do that. We'd embed our intelligence agents into that country. It's a responsibility. That's the only way you find out what the fuck is going on. So, of course, China's doing that.
Oh, you don't think they're coming at us with balloons?
They're doing that, too.
I don't believe for 2 seconds that
I think they're doing that, too. I think they're doing that right. Well, the crazy one was
I don't believe it at all.
Drones. Did you hear about the drones at the bases that were happening for weeks?
No.
Did I send it to you the other day, Jamie? Do you have it? You want me to send it to you again? This is something Melissa Chen sent me. There is apparently a fucking shit ton of drones that were hanging around this base for weeks. And they didn't know who was. Look at this. Mysterious drones swarmed Langley Air Force Base for weeks, dude. Weeks. The unidentified drones were such an issue that assets were called in from around the government, including a NASA WB-57 high-altitude jet. So they're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. If we're at some weird stage where they start implementing these things that we've been calling UFOs, that maybe at least some of them are controlled by someone that's a human being.
I think many of them are.
Yeah, but if they're that level where they can just like buzz around Air Force bases and no one can catch them and no one can stop them and no one knows what the fuck they are.
First of all, Raytheon is a weapons company that's in Antarctica. They're just concerned for science.
Yes, they're just concerned for science. Listen, this is a neutrino detector, which is really important. As someone who loves science and talking to scientists, I support Raytheon's desire to not just create weapons, but also do well for humanity.
Touché, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I support their getting young women into STEM fields.
Yes.
I support that.
Women.
And I caught Rachel Maddow's speaking engagement there about how we need to shovel money into Ukraine, and I accept it and believe it. And that's right, Ukraine, what a conspiracy to say that wasn't going to work out. What a crazy conspiracy to say they haven't been winning, they would be better off, they would have more. If we didn't do fucking anything, they'd be way better off than they are now, which is fucked.
Dude, I want to do a reality show with Conor McGregor and Zelensky just doing coke together in a mansion.
Zelensky's going to try to fuck Conor. It's going to not work out. Zelensky's going to try to suck his dick. It's going to be, it'll hit him.
Oh, it'll kill him.
Dude, just one little thing, like the Haiti shit, like is like a lot of people say if you bring up anything with Haiti, like, oh, this conspiracy, that's the saddest fucking shit in the world, dude. There's no conspiracy about it. It's all shit. It's fucking crazy. That's what, again, don't tell me how bad Putin is after what you guys did to fucking Haiti the whole time.
Well, they were so mad at Tucker for going and talking to Putin and making him a human. People were so mad.
Okay.
Well, shouldn't you at least, if you want to decipher what they're saying, shouldn't you at least listen to what the enemy, supposed enemy, whatever it is, the leader of this country that's invading Ukraine has to say? Shouldn't you want to listen to what he has to say? Even
Yes.
if what he's saying is a lie, you should be able to have experts analyze what he's saying and say, this is not factual.
That's
this
right.
This is the true reason why he attacked. The NATO intrusion into specified areas that they had forbidden, that's not true. And here's how we can show
But they
that's
don't want
true.
that
But they don't want to hear what he has to say.
Okay, so here I'll be the fucking dipshit from
Please.
CNN or whatever. Yeah, but a qualified person should middleman this information and do, like, you know how we want Twitter to censor more? Not some jerk like Tucker Carlson. It should be Christian Amanpour.
Yes,
And then
someone
it gets
of color.
filtered. Oh, that's a
be
great
nicer.
point.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's a number. Don Lemon should be the one talking to
Yes.
him. And then they should go over it before you see what Putin had to say. Don't give him a platform.
Can you imagine?
Don't platform him.
Can you imagine sending Don Lemon to talk to Putin?
I was thinking about it.
That
I'm
would
into it.
Be wonderful.
If Elon's listening, Elon.
Could you imagine if Don Lemon could talk to Putin in Russian so he could badger him the way
No,
he
I can't.
badgered Elon?
I can't imagine Russian. I can imagine him doing the same interview he did with Elon Musk.
Yes.
To Putin.
Exactly.
And I would love to see that.
Well, if they did it over Google Translate, so that they could do it like
So
when
that
they,
there's
like
a
when them
World War
Samsung
III?
phones, so they could translate it. You know, have you seen those Samsung phones that translate it
No.
instantaneously? The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is this fucking amazing new phone that has AI built into it that allows you to translate things in real time. So if you have Galaxy earbuds in and you're listening to someone talk in German, it will translate it into English in your fucking ear in real time. And it also translates on an app where one side of the screen's cut in half. One side of the screen is facing you, the other side's facing me. You speak to me in Farsi. It translates it to English in writing. And then I speak in English and it translates it into Farsi.
Question. Is it better than Google Translate's job of translating other languages?
I think it's a little more sophisticated because it's built into the phone. And it's built. It's an AI feature that's built into the operating system. It's like they're the first company. Samsung, and this phone in particular, is the first company to not just use AI for photos, because it uses AI for photos as well, but it also uses AI to make like a synopsis of a website. So if you go to a website and you say, "Give me a summary of what this website is saying," it'll break it down in bullet points for you. Break the web, and it will do that with your notes. So if you have notes, so you write a bunch of crazy shit in Samsung Notes.
My
and you say-
manifesto?
exactly. Or your set list. And you say, hey, summarize this. It'll summarize it. It'll break it into paragraphs, parts that fit together, and things that make sense.
Oh, I'm
But
curious
so-
to try it now.
My point is, they're getting to a point where Don Lemon really could have a fucking conversation with Putin in real time. If they could do that Russian to English, English to Russian, and as long as there's someone there that stops World War III, as long as there's someone there that no, they misinterpreted that word. That word means this, which means the opposite of that. It fucked up. The AI didn't catch it right.
The last translation I tried to read was that's why I bring it up is of course. Now, here's my number one conspiracy I'm emotionally attached to is President Macron's wife is a trans woman.
My favorite. I have to pee. Let's come back and talk about that.
I
one.
got pee too. Yeah.
That's my favorite. We'll be right back.
What-
Maybe he can become white. Sammy Sosa is becoming white. No one cares.
I thought he achieved it.
He's basically more white than I am.
That's I used to have the whole bit about penis whitening about Sammy Sosa and his dick.
Penis whitening?
Yeah, they do it by laser.
Do they really?
In Thailand, it was like
They lighten your penis?
I hope it's not as big as it used to. Yeah,
Jesus
move
Christ.
over asshole whitening.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That seems...
they heard that's the best part of being white, the dick of it, and they were like, they want in. They do it by laser, dude.
The great white whale. Everybody wants a Moby Dick. The great white whale. Big old
That's not it.
white Yeti dick. Imagine if like one of the blackest dick porn stars with those giant 14-inch dicks, if one of those guys just decided to just whiten up the whole dick.
You know what that would be like?
14-inch dick white would be crazy.
If he did that, okay. Yes, it would be. Who's that singer that she lost weight and everybody got really mad at her like she betrayed fat
Adele.
people? It would be like the turning on Adele. Like, you whiten a 14-inch dick on Black History Month? How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you?
That would be like I bet you'd be a lot of backlash if I'm like, no, I just think it looks better.
The Sammy Sosa thing is wild. He just looks so good when his skin was darker. Like, I don't understand. He looks so weird now.
Yeah. Hey, you know who looks good? Macron's wife.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. So this story, even if Macron's wife...
This is why Candace Owens was fired.
Candace Owens alleges that Macron's wife is somehow or another a biological man who transitioned at age 30 to become a woman. Even if that's not true, Macron's wife was 39.
No, older.
When he was 15. I think that's the age.
And he was probably 14, not 15, by the way.
Yeah, he's trying to make it look
So remember
better.
Mary Kay Letourneau and the Hawaiian kid? Or the Samoan kid? And I found a picture of them. Like, so imagine that story, right? Where she went to prison, for rape.
Right.
And then came out and married him, and they had 3 kids and got a divorce. Imagine if instead of that, they ruled France. That's where it ended up.
Right.
And now,
but that's the less crazy of the story.
Well, it's not, but yes,
But that's the less
optically
crazy.
somehow.
But it's the less crazy because the crazy version of the story is that it's actually a man.
That's the unacceptable part. That's the part where they're going to sue. How dare you say that our underage fucking rape marriage that is the president and first lady of France.
Right.
Don't add crazy shit to this.
Yeah. don't make her trans.
Like,
you asshole.
This is the part that I love about the clown world Armageddon happening is the priorities are so cocked up in everyone's head because of changing markets, I guess. I don't know what the fuck it is. And the Antarctica beam. The clown beam in Antarctica that has clearly been turned on is Eric suited. Dude, that's the first thing when I heard it. I'm like, wait, that's the least batshit part of the story is that there's a trans first lady.
But it's crazy because it's been hidden for so long. But the most batshit part is evidently true, which is she was 39 and he was 15. If we're being fair,
the age changes.
Okay, look at this. Okay, here it goes.
40.
It was in the after-school drama club of La Provence that she and Emmanuel Macron first met. She was in charge of the after-school theater club that he attended when he was 15, alongside her daughter Lawrence, who was in his class.
Cool.
Their relationship has attracted controversy as she is his senior by close to 25 years, and Macron described her as a love often clandestine, often hidden, misunderstood by many, before imposing itself.
Oh, that's a very French way to talk about it.
Well, go back to that. Don't go away. Look how crazy that statement is. A love often clandestine, often hidden, misunderstood by many, before imposing itself. Like, you were getting molested. In 89, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, he's Dennis Reynolds.
Yeah, this is so crazy. In 89, Brigitte Macron, then with her, however you say her maiden name, Ozier, unsuccessfully ran for a seat in the city council of Truktersheim. It was the only time she ran for office. In 2017, Brigitte Macron played an active role in her husband's presidential campaign. A top advisor was quoted as saying that her presence is essential for him during this campaign. Emmanuel Macron stated upon his winning of the French presidency, his wife would have the role that she always had with him. She will not be hidden.
Not good translating.
Why would you hide your wife?
Why would you?
He proposed creating an official First Lady title as the spouse of the French president currently holds no official title, coming with her own staff, office, and a personally allocated budget for their activities. Following Macron's election as president and his previously outspoken stance against nepotism, a petition against his proposal was gathered more than 275,000 signatures, and the French government announced that Brigitte Macron would not hold the office title of First Lady and would not be allocated an official budget. So they pushed back. So just the real facts of 39, 15, often clandestine, often hidden, but eventually imposing itself. Like, what?
She's married with 3 kids and raped a student.
Yeah, and now here's the thing: did the 3 kids come from her penis, or did the 3 kids come from her vagina? This is what. So if they didn't come from her penis, that means that she gave birth to them, which makes sense. But if they came from her penis, if this is what Candace is saying, who gave birth to those kids? If those are her kids,
she was the father of the kids, and the woman. I don't even know the whole.
Where's the mom? So that should be easiest. Like, this is the actual mom. This is the person that you were married to and you had kids with before you became a woman. That should be a person you can find. I have not heard that though.
There's one
so if
picture,
you're saying that
okay.
she's definitely a man.
No,
I'm not saying you are. But if someone is saying that, I'm not saying you are. Yeah, I know you don't have a dog in this fight. But if someone is saying that Macron is actually a man, that you have to if she has kids. And these are her kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find who had the fucking kids with her.
That's
if you're
right.
saying she's a man.
That's a big question.
Where'd the woman go? She vanished? She should still be alive. If Macron's alive, the woman she had kids with probably also alive. The kids know that that's not their mom. What are we doing?
Okay. No, look. Those are all valid questions.
Yeah.
But so... I can't find the video anymore on YouTube. She had a link to this is how we got on this topic was there's a link to all the compiled evidence over the years. Okay. And
but where's the woman that made the babies?
Well, they were like, where's the husband that she had? They were like, there's one picture got released. They sued about it. But there were no pictures of her for the first 30 years except a
right,
young
but she's
picture.
70. There's not a lot of pictures of me, and I'm 56.
From your first 30 years of life?
There's a few. But until cell phones came, well, I was also on television, right? So I was also a comedian. So there's more pictures and photos and videos of me than would be normally with most people. But the pictures of me from the time I was young, there's only like a fucking handful of them.
You know what? I guess wealthy French people didn't take pictures.
But it's like a different time. She's 70 years old. Like, they had to do a photograph. Like, they had to stand there.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's not a lot of photos. And they weren't digitally, if they weren't, like, people say, where's the photos of Michelle Obama pregnant? Like, probably in her fucking photo album. Like, why would she put them online?
That's a crazy one to bring up.
But that's another one. That one was like the first ridiculous one, the Big Mike one, which led to this Macron one, which seems to have way more legs.
No, the Macron one, yes.
Few years.
Yes. The Macron's older.
Okay, I should say in this country. I haven't heard about it. I haven't heard. In France, they've been talking about it since how long?
A long time. Quite a few years.
How many years?
At least 3. There's been lawsuits. There's been all sorts of
stuff.
It didn't just start like last month or anything.
Well, then Big Mike was going on a long time ago too, though.
I didn't say it wasn't.
But you said this was going on before Big Mike.
I said it.
You said this was new.
I did the misinformation of that.
But I think Big Mike was probably first, though. No, wasn't that like? Didn't people like? Listen,
I never heard.
Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a man before she died.
Was that a joke? I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but the way she said it wasn't like jokey. She was like, "Oh, come on, everybody knows Michelle Obama's a man." Like, remember that?
Yeah, like, would Big Mike kill you for that?
Well, I think she died because she had 1,000 plastic surgeries. But
yeah, she was going under.
Yeah.
She just sees these big black arms coming over her face. Big Mike.
Bro.
Oh, no.
Whoever did Madonna's face was working on Joan Rivers first and perfecting the craft.
The face killer.
He
got it. He'll get you.
Go to, see if you can find Joan Rivers saying Michelle Obama's a man, the video.
My darling, just hold it, mister. I was given a boarding pass with the wrong name on it. I went through 5 different security passes, and then a woman at the gate who will not look at my passport, who will not call Continental, who will not call for help, who will not recheck into their records, says to me, you cannot go on? No, she is a moron.
What? That had nothing to do with that, Jamie.
Look what the title says.
I know,
it's on
but
CNN's.
But that's not it. If you
what
go
is
to
happening?
That's the wrong video. It's absolutely the wrong video.
Why would they
But
label
hold
it?
on, Jamie. There's a video of her and she's walking into her apartment building.
That right here. I just was playing the one that.
That's it. This is the one.
Or the first woman
We already
president.
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a tramp.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty funny how she said it.
Okay, we all know it. So what year was that, Jamie, that she said that?
I have no idea.
Well, let's see if we can find that.
Okay.
Well, how soon before she died did she say it?
Well, I don't.
And Boeing is a terrible airline. It's a terrible company. Zelensky's a cokehead.
does coke. And Israel's committing genocide.
Well, all the all the questions you said right at the top about like, so where's the woman? There's a lot of math of like for this to work out.
Well, let's ask
but they
this.
make it
this
look,
is how we
yeah.
can find out when. When did she die?
2014.
Okay, so it was 2014. So it was 2014 that she did that. Where she in
yeah,
2014. So it had to be before 2014 because she was dead at 2014. So 2014 or before, she said Michelle Obama is a man. So this is like 10 years.
Have you ever heard that before her?
I never heard it. No,
I didn't.
I didn't even hear her say that until years later after she was dead.
The Obama being gay thing was what really shocked me because that's the thing, because back in the day he was a Muslim and not from America, so the idea that like he was secretly gay is so like what like, but you saw the guy's book.
But you know that Muslims, particularly like in Afghanistan, there's like those clean-shaven boys that they pass around.
Yeah, the dancing boys of Afghanistan with the bells.
They do gay stuff. So what does that mean?
He's a hardcore Muslim.
He's the Taliban.
But
that guy that Tucker had on his show was so fucking bananas that he decided to do that. Have that guy on. The guy that said he sucked Obama's dick on Tucker's show.
Dude.
I took Obama, I took the crack money from him, then I sucked his dick, and I sucked his dick again. Like, what?
Yeah, it was.
What are you doing?
Pretty hot. He was a young Obama. It sounds like a hot, like porn of like, I was in town.
Yeah.
I go, you know a guy? They go, yeah, I know this college student. Hi, I'm a young Obama. I'll do whatever, man.
Well, wasn't he like a senator at the time or something like that? What was this guy claiming? Was he a law student? What was he claiming?
It was something funny to laugh at. The only thing that's like a real undisputed thing was that news that came out, because Mike McRae, who lives down here and does a good Obama impression, he called in it, and it had come out in his biography. This is by some liberal college professor. There's like a paperback of it or something where it's letters to his girlfriend he used to be with. He used to be like this white girl in college, I guess.
Yeah.
And so all these letters like, I have sex all the time with men in my mind because I'm trying not. You didn't see that news?
Yeah,
okay.
I did see that.
So there's a funny joke McRae had is doing him. He goes, hey, look, I was trying to bang a girl with pink hair to an art student. That's what you got to tell him.
Yeah.
You want to bang a girl nose ring, you got to say, think about gay sex in your head. So I laughed at the time, but then I think about it, I'm like, who the fuck would write that? Was he trying to break up with her? And this is how he tried to let her down before.
I'm really into guys in my head.
Like, take the hint.
Yeah,
but dude, that's a crazy. And then, so here's what happens. Because the thing becomes hard to find, so the stuff you were saying, what I was saying was, yeah, it's all crazy thing they're saying, but they've done such crazy things to counteract it that it makes you go, wait, is something that you didn't think anything was there,
right?
But then the way they react, you're like, wait, did you do something? Like,
right.
You could make it. Tom Cruise, remember when he sued because people said he was gay? And
Did he sue?
You don't remember that? It made him look really. He's not gay, by the way. It made him look really gay. Like, what? Hulk Hogan, when his wife said he was gay with Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Hulk said, if I was gay, I'd celebrate it. It went away, and he was dressed like he's clearly gay. And he goes, I would celebrate it. And okay. So, like, if you react to it in a way like that, and, you know, there's all these, like, old money, rich families that are unaccustomed to, like, anything less than full PBS respect. And so they don't know how to react. And it's like the old school way of dealing with problems. That thing you said about being 70, I didn't even consider that, dude. That's a great point. How do 70-year-olds deal with scandal compared to now how you would deal with it?
Yeah.
And it's like the same techniques of covering up a UFO like they have to use to cover up their weird thing.
Well, this scandal is, first of all, it's real simple. No matter what, even if you're just a woman, you're a pedophile. Even if you're just a woman.
Well,
so that's one.
You're a
Number
hemophile.
two is very easy to find out if you're a woman. We do a chromosome test.
I think meant like in Crocodile Dundee, he just grabbed the chick.
Well, who knows what's going on down there? But very easy. We can extract some DNA and we can find out if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
That's very easy.
Yeah.
Now, if you have
I'd take less evidence even.
XY chromosome, you're a fucking guy.
Here we go with the conspiracies. Oh, this is your conspiracy talk now.
If you could prove that, that would be the wildest thing. Like what Candace Owens tried to do. Do you think that's what got her fired?
No, I say that as a joke, but it was some.
I mean, it has to be a pile-on of multiple sort of offenses.
Yes, I think that's what it is. But so pedophiles, just for the record,
I shouldn't say it has to be, because that's not true.
Do you remember when they tried to put pedophilia in the psychology book as an orientation?
Yes.
And so at the time, I had no idea what, like, well, was it like you're gay for kids, right? That's what I was thinking. And Neil Brennan told me this. He was dating some psychologist. He says, no, because gay would be you want to get married and be with the person, you know what I mean? Like the thing of gay. An orientation, not gay, excuse me. Orientation is you want to have your like toothbrush with their toothbrush ultimately. And with pedophiles, once you get older, they don't want you no more. So if they're still together all this time, that's true love and not pedophilia. But it is rape. But it was. Well, I don't even know if it is.
It's not pedophilia anymore.
People go, it's France. My girlfriend, well, it's France. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
It's France. What? We should examine France. Is that why they give kids wine?
Well, that's where fucking what's-his-face went over when there was wanted for rape. The director, Roman Polanski. That's where he's from. Yeah, he went over there, and they're like, no, we keep him. He is one of ours.
Because they get it.
Yeah, this is normal. This is normal.
The home of postmodernism.
This is normal. 13 is normal.
Yeah, you are so uptight with your...
USA with its problem. Yeah, it's just like, even if at the end of the day, he did marry his teacher who was a woman, it's still bonkers.
That's more bonkers than...
It's the whole thing's bonkers. But the really bonkers thing is, like, if this person has kids and they're a man, actually, and they had kids before they transitioned, where the fuck is the woman that had the babies?
Dude, I was laughing before because I thought you were saying the kids might have came out of his dick hole. I swear to God, I misunderstood what you were saying. I was like, it's hilarious. Like,
but there has to be a woman. There has to be a mom, and then there's the kids.
No, there doesn't.
The kids, you have to pull the kids aside. Who's your mom?
Why are you a
Who's your fucking mom?
misogynist?
Where'd your mom go? What happened? Okay, that's your mom, definitely?
Are we
were there
all-
from the beginning. Okay, we're good.
We're all Michael Jackson now?
Yeah.
We're like, it's a mystery who the mom, where
Can I
this
get a
came...
cheek swab from you, ma'am? I just would like to find out for sure, because I'm rooting for you to be a man, because it just makes it
I would support this more.
so crazy and so bonkers. I'm rooting for it.
France, do you ever see the old interview? Like Brian Volke, his comic, told me about it. I never, in the night. What is that stuff?
It's a CBD bomb. I got a tight muscle in my lower back. You ever use this shit?
No, I thought you had a rash. I was like, what's it?
No. This is CBD MD. This is it's really good stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
CBD that you put on your muscles, and it like significantly relaxes your muscles.
Oh, is
and
that
it's
right?
a roll-on, so you can kind of like dig it into the muscle. It
No,
loosens things up.
Yeah, you were. I was like, should I hit that?
No, it's not going to do anything for
I
you.
don't think you should share those.
No. No. The Macron thing. What were we saying?
I forgot because I was thinking about that.
That roll-on?
That roll-on.
Yeah, the even if it's just what it is. But
Yeah.
when Candace Owens had that whole show about it, I was like,
She said, I will stake my reputation and my job at Daily.
Yeah. My
fuck.
professional reputation.
Oh, Gerard Depardieu.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
So Brian reminds me, I remember in the 90s, in an interview in like, I want to say Vanity Fair, he just said when he was younger, he raped and he's like really young, like 9 or something. He goes, yeah, that's when I did my first rape.
What?
Dude, put
Really?
it down. Okay, so that's how I reacted. I was like, come on. And I looked up, and sure enough, I don't remember. I think he was in a movie called My Father the Hero, which was a Disney movie at that point.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That movie is a whole weird movie. But.
Oh, it resurfaced is what happened.
In a 1978 interview, Depardieu reportedly confirmed a story that he first participated in a rape when he was 9 years old, and he had participated in more rapes since then.
It was we had too much wine.
Is France just like super rapey?
Rapier.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's just like such a. By the way, France is the country that Haiti had to pay reparations to for not being slaves until
Till, like, the
1985.
80s. Yeah.
Through Chase Bank.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, Chase is the media. Is that great?
By the
Chase
time
that
the
won't do
80s rolled
business.
around, they go, this is a thing called the computer. I think we should get out now.
You wouldn't let him.
This is going to be ugly for us. Okay, let's pull out of this reparation.
Well, France couldn't take that to arbitration because.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting fucked.
But there's no. That
Some
makes
back dues.
Dude, that's the craziest thing in the world. That because you always hear like it comes up, like in L.A. Gavin, American Psycho hair here. He's like,
Yeah.
well, we're gonna do slave reparations just in California for like some crazy, and people get mad.
Have you seen what they've done in Boston today?
Another no
the
white party.
heads of these black churches want $15 billion in reparations from the white churches to the black churches.
Noise.
And they're out there, yes. And this should be paid as follows. I mean, they're like $5 billion at first, an upfront payment, and then another $5 billion. And like they've got it mapped out that they're actually demanding $15 billion from these white churches.
Right.
Like,
What's the angle?
what are you,
Hey, what's the angle, guys?
what are you talking about?
But
what
that
are you
it's
saying?
all like nonsense.
Who gets the money?
Yeah,
Like, but it's so crazy.
It's
Like,
to get you to fucking give a shit. Every petty, stupid. So the reparations. That's what I would say to people. Fight about that. Not that. That's absolutely bad shit. What you just told me.
yeah.
But when people talk about slave reparations, they talk about like. First of all, do you think that would be the real tragedy of our government spending would be on that? We gave like $300 billion probably to Ukraine. So for that amount of money, not only could you pay slave reparations to the wrong people, they could be half people that just got here and nothing to do with it. You'd have enough left over to pay all the white people that feel bad about reparations. They could have a reparations. And you'd have plenty of money for other shit. And like, so then every time somebody argues about, oh, what is the morals? Like, yo, dude, we give all our money to go kill other people. We could have a candy land of moron shit here for years if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot, even like, but we can't do it. But
Not
I
only
don't know.
That money came out of nowhere. Like, where was
They
all
have a
that
magic
money?
machine. Do you not get out to the world? Antarctica cloud beam, dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about the UFO thing.
Oh.
You had sent me a video of a UFO thing that I sent to Jeremy Corbell, and he says it's bullshit.
Which one?
The one where the plane gets circled by the drones.
Oh, okay. So, like, I know that video went around, but I was listening to that autistic man talking about the ins and outs of how they looked at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you go on the like rabbit hole shit of all this stuff, you know, like
And you know I do.
So you know how who's the guy, Jack Parsons, that was the father of rocketry in America or something they call him, and he's the guy that blew up from fulminated mercury. L. Ron Hubbard stayed at his house, and he was like, they're trying to bring about Babylon rising. Babylon spelled wrong, by the way, which is that Aleister Crowley Thelema kind of bullshit. Mm-hmm. And dude, it makes me laugh so much every time I think about it. All the history of rockets, these dick-shaped objects that we shoot up, okay, one part of rocket science is all the stuff I can't do, right? The other part of it is going in the desert and jerking off and looking into L. Ron Hubbard's eyes. Like the key component.
The rocketry in this country is connected to two things that are evil: Nazis and Satanism.
Yeah, well, if you think it's evil to jerk off and look in the eyes of L. Ron Hubbard, are you an ingrate for? But it makes me laugh. So it's all this weird magical shit. Yeah. So it's all this weird magical shit, and it's so closely. So now when they talk about they don't go this weird debate like I don't think it's ETs, it's extra dimensional something. And there's a lot of religious kind of channels that are like, obviously these are the Nephilim from the Bible, all that bullshit. And I don't think.
See that thing, that boom is actually
from a video game.
That's from a video game.
No, it's not. It doesn't match up.
But it does match up. It does match up, except for some parts of it where it looks like it's partially altered. But obviously, if you're going, like, there's a video that breaks it down how it matches up. Not only does it match up, the edges like match up precisely at certain points of it. It looks like an altered version of that image that's like a stock footage of some kind of explosion. And you're doing it through filters and you're adjusting the way the image looks. But a visual effects guy went over it. And he explained multiple reasons why he thinks it's fake.
Well, that's a good point.
Someone who's an actual expert.
But you should know that a visual effects guy, expert, also went over if CNN discolored your face, and he said they didn't.
Come on.
You think
did they really?
We did
but
this
it
on
was a
Jimmy.
CNN hired guy.
Who the here's the point.
Yeah.
Like, you can't trust that now. Like, they're going to do you personally, and then you're going to go, well, this expert, like, I won't say I know or don't know on a thing, but the way I look
think
at
that
it,
video is bullshit.
It could be.
Because there's a lot of those
But
videos
look,
that are bullshit. That's the point.
as soon as the questions around a thing that's not solved, we're like, well, wait, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some weirdness. Hey, maybe someone put that out as disinformation.
There's that.
Why are, like, if there's nothing and they've been doing this, it's just they want to make us think they have UFOs. Okay, that's possible, totally. That is crazier than if they just found something. The government to create a George Lucas level lore of aliens in the popular consciousness for no reason other than to, like, hide what you have nicer shit that flies. That's insane. That's fucking like hiding that your wife is a man and you're the president of France. It's that level insane.
Sort of.
Why would
But
you
if you're-
trust anything about your country ever again if they did that to you?
Well, because it's military secrets, and they've always hidden military secrets.
Yeah.
They hid all the military secrets about the stealth bombers. They hid a bunch of military
and you know what? A lot
They hid
of
the
good
existence.
has come out of that.
They hid the actual existence of Area 51.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Why would I? So now that I know they're lying every fucking time, and then if I'm lucky in 20 years I'll be allowed to know, or the president will go, I looked it over and you wouldn't put it out there either. I think I would put it out there, but I probably shouldn't be president. But that's the thing. Like, who said this? I can't remember who. It's not my quote. But the nation is as sick as its secrets, and that's how whatever's in there is how sick fuck of a country it is.
Right. If it's so sick that it's actual aliens that are visiting us and they're using human beings as like vessels for souls.
And I don't buy any of the stories of, like, do you remember Men in Black with the great Will Smith?
The great Will Smith.
And the opening.
I call him Slappy.
You're mean. When okay, so the
Slappy Smith.
The narration with Tommy Lee Jones, we're them. We're the ones that handle the things. So you can live your stupid fucking moron peasant life.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. It takes a great to handle the information. Only someone that we tested as great as Will Smith could even handle the knowledge of knowing the truth. And he's helping you out by keeping it a secret.
A movie, right?
But what's the message of the fucking movie? All the movies, the message is, yeah, we need to have these people that lie because it's too big of a truth.
Yeah, that's what they always say.
You need to lie, motherfucker. You need to, for your power thing to work, you need to, not you. So they don't have to lie. It's always bullshit. They don't have to lie. The only thing they have to lie about is they want to keep the business going, and it's never been for your good that they lied. It's for the good of the people who fucked up before, so they don't get in trouble.
Right.
And they sell it to you like it's your fucking problem.
Damn, Kurt, you sound like an old man on a porch.
That was my goal in life. I embrace it.
Mad about the government. Yeah.
No, I'm not mad about it. I'm mad about people not being knowing about it.
One of two things is real. Either it is ours and they're awesome at keeping secrets, much to our dismay, or it's someone else from another planet and they're also awesome at keeping secrets, which is even kind of crazier. Both things are pretty crazy. If they can really keep under wraps the fact that we have been visited forever by extraterrestrial beings, that's pretty nuts. And if it's not, and it's just a con story that they're running to try to mask some sort of a secret propulsions program that's been going on since the 1980s, that's pretty crazy.
Well, let me ask you this. Think of the stunning amount of time they've been able to keep this secret that maybe women don't have dicks. The things that they keep secret are so insane. Like, of course they can keep a secret. You know how you keep a secret? Roy Cohn, the great Roy Cohn, showed us how to keep a. three can keep a secret if two are dead. The old saying.
Right.
No, 3 can keep a secret if each of the 3 guys agrees to stick his dick into something he shouldn't stick it in on camera, and they each have that blackmail on each other, and then you can keep all kinds of secrets for a very long time.
Now you're talking. So what do we do to make sure that people keep secrets? We have them suck a dick with a skull mask on? Do
Frat
we put
hazing,
them in
yeah.
a tutu? Yeah.
Yeah.
Film it, right?
Dude, why do frats, the things you've heard about of like Ookie Cookie or all that shit, Big J knew all the names of all of them. And you're like, wait, why did you have to do that to join? Like, I went to an art school, they didn't have frats, but, oh, I know why. It's trickled down from the upper classes of weird shit to your ass to when you go to Oxford.
That's how you pick a president.
Yeah, no shit.
You don't want a president that doesn't have any fucking footage of him sucking a dick with a clown mask on.
I won't accept it.
Then you're never going to be able to trust that guy. What if he goes rogue? What if he goes JFK on you?
What if he crumbles under the weight of the hideous things he knows and gets the bright idea, snitching?
Exactly.
I want to encourage snitching on. What's great about right now, this is the other reason I'm not like unhappy, even though I'm continuously like, are you kidding? About every single new thing. I'm like, oh, so nothing I've ever heard was right. Right. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Sounds great. I love watching at every level it's collapsing. And you don't have to do anything except be a disgruntled enough employee to be like, fuck it, I'm saying it, I don't care. So now the P. Diddy thing, which like for 2 years, I would tell people is hilarious. I mean, it's horrific, but it's also hilarious that it was like the big secret that P. Diddy would make a bunch of these guys suck his dick and do weird shit. Oh, do you think the government does it? Well, P. Diddy does it.
Homes in L.A. and Miami raided by federal agents.
Dude, the conspiracies of P. Diddy are like, you know that as above, so below, that like magical shit the rocket scientists say when they jerk off and look in each other's eye.
What?
Duncan will know. As above, hey, ask Duncan. But as above, so below, you've heard that saying?
Yes.
I want to write a hermetic magic book called As the Carpet, So the Drapes by Kermis Metzger with all my occult knowledge that I picked up from looking into UFOs. These things are like reflections all the way up. So like at every level of society, there's something like Vince McMahon went down.
Right,
his
for shitting
empire.
on somebody.
Yeah, I've given out Canadian top hats to chicks.
At every level, there's something.
I want to joke
insane.
about it on stage, but people like, you know, nobody follows all the same things anymore. So it's hard to, the things I want to make references about, there's like no common culture anymore of like, we all saw this. So you got to just burn time explaining the first part of the story. And with Vince McMahon, dude, I'll ask, does anybody know, like people that know, like what he did?
Right.
Or what it's claimed that he did? It only came out because he didn't want to pay her the full money. If he were paid $3 million to do all horrific things and you're like, yeah, I'll do that, then I'd be like, well, that's not assault. But this fucker didn't want to pay because he has a history of fucking people on shit. And all he had to do was pay what he agreed to, and she's a disgruntled employee, and good for her because that guy shit on her head. They're having a they don't say what position, I don't think. I hope it's Eiffel Tower and not a blowjob he did this during. 2-on-1 with, I'm guessing, Johnny Leonidas. I don't know, another executive. So they're both having sex with this girl. This man gets up, shits on her head, and then he goes, "I'm gonna go get you guys finish up. I'm gonna get a shower." This is what's written in the legal. They say he defecates. Okay. Yeah, we'll finish up, Vince. I think we're all done here, Vince.
Should we?
I think we're done.
Should we steel man his position? And should we say he's an elderly gentleman involved in rigorous activities, and oftentimes they lose control of their bowels? Is the reason why depends is associated with old people.
Well, that's a
Listen,
fair.
if I was his lawyer, I would say Vince is a wonderful man who respects women, but he's got bad bowels.
Well, Joe, that's a great steel man, but I would just say respectfully, the part where he goes, "I'm in a shower, you guys finish up," right there is where I break with the idea that he just lost control.
Well, he didn't want the party to be over just because he can't control his bowels. It seems very considerate of him. You guys finish up. I'm in a shower. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you get a shower.
In the party.
You go get a 30-minute shower, Vince. I'll sit here with this chick.
Imagine having sex with someone else's shit on their hair while you're having sex.
No, it's a party foul for sure.
Smelling this guy's shit, literally where your face is.
But I'll finish up. Oh. Well, hey, Miss, do you want to finish up? You with the.
That's so insane.
You with the Stone Cold steamer that you got? Oh, maybe we'll just chat about nicknames.
There's nothing
for this
crazier
depraved act that you just did
than the depravity of shitting on people with feces. Okay, this is it.
Oh my
One example
God.
of McMahon's extreme depravity. May 9th, 2020, he defecated on Miss Grant during a threesome and then commanded her to continue pleasuring his friend with feces in her hair and running down her back while McMahon went to the bathroom.
Wait,
to
I didn't see
shower
this
off.
part. Wait, I didn't see this part. Upon his return from the bathroom, McMahon and his friend actively resumed the three. She didn't get in and hose off? You showered and went back and started. The girl whose head and back you shit on.
Whoa.
Why get a shower?
Oh my God, so she didn't shower?
It says right here, remain covered in his filth.
He got showered and she stayed
Oh my God.
with Bob
I like how they
Saget's closer on
I
her
also
head.
like how they just described it as his filth. His filth. I mean, is that like, is this like a legal document? Is that a legal term? Like his filth?
He gave her a Polish car wash and he goes and cleans himself.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, well, that's that. So the P. Diddy thing.
Yeah.
The disgruntled employees have been coming out years ago on the whole mafia has a podcast now. By the way, you might have seen. Everybody has and people will get invested in it. It's so much better than
the mob has podcasts now.
And they have rivalries. And there's like people that are like, oh, well, I heard he's a snitch. Like they're now like, do you have Stockholm syndrome? Good, they're a snitch. That's why we have this great show. The fuck? I hope everyone snitches. What the fuck are you talking about? So I get criminals. He has a right to say, as a fucking criminal, don't snitch. You, the citizen of the good country, Edward Snowden's not supposed to be hiding out in Russia with the bad man.
Right.
He's the guy that did the right thing, right? No, some of us we kill snitches. Like, what is it? But it's all falling apart. So the P. Diddy quote is Jaguar Wright said this, an ex-employee of him. He goes, "If you can get a man to suck your dick, you can do anything." As in a man that just does not want to do that. Yeah, that's a real. It's like a affirmation. It's like a real power affirmation for someone.
But we know that people can get depraved enough to shit on people. That's real.
I mean, that's called a Dubai porta potty. And that's what Instagram models do for $50,000 a pop.
We know people are depraved enough to try to get straight guys to suck their dick. We've all heard of it.
That's pretty light. I thought you guys were going to ask me if I want to suck your dicks. That's just straight stuff, dude.
Normal shit.
Dude, no
just
one
hanging
laugh-
around, being bros.
No one. I'm not. People don't really laugh at this joke, but I was like in the future, gay conversion therapy they used to do. Which
pray
is
the
like,
gay away. Yeah.
Yeah,
with hard-ons, like hugging you from behind.
Yeah, for like your parents pay like $30,000 to go to some weird. In the future, you're going to pay that money. The conversion, you're going to send your kid to a camp so they can talk him down to just being gay.
Right.
Like, hey, he told me he's a diaper. He has a fursona. Could you just tell him he's gay?
And he's a cat.
And he wants a litter box.
He thinks he's a cat.
They want a litter. Oh, so the covering up of the litter box thing. Do you see that principle at play of like, don't even talk about it?
Yeah.
Because it's the same principle as if you talk about Jon Stewart putting a medal on a Nazi or Canada applauding a real Nazi. It helps Putin, the bad man. So cover up the fact that the Canadian House of Commons gave a standing ovation to a real World War II Nazi. Why, by the way, why is he hiding out in Canada? That's been allowed? Oh,
But isn't it funny, the way people realized what he was saying when he was saying that
he fought Russia?
Yeah.
My girlfriend went to Jacksonville Public Schools, and she picked it out. She's the one who said something first. She goes, wait, wouldn't that mean with the Nazis? Like, we all learned that just like from Call of Duty games just a few years, like not that long ago.
Isn't that insane that fighting against the Russians, you can say it as a positive thing now, even if you did it while you were a Nazi?
You can say it like they're communists still. They act like they're the Soviets. Dude, if you say this, if you see him on TV and they go, Putin wants to rebuild the Soviet Empire. Now, if you're just some Joe Schmo saying that to me, okay, you just a know nothing. You're right as an American. People in charge saying that stupid fucking shit that he wants to rebuild it, you're a fucking either a liar or you're a fucking chump. You're probably like an innocent chump like Chris Cuomo or some shit. But that's domino theory. You're still selling domino theory to people? Remember Vietnam, that thing that we lost?
Yeah.
And they're doing great. Communism has never worked. Well, Vietnam won, and also it's a great vacation spot. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't believe in communism, okay? I thought it doesn't work. So why are you spending everybody's money to go make a thing that doesn't not work? That seems like a waste to me. That's our entire first half. Now it's Russia. We want to weaken Russia. A friend of mine said this to me, who's a comic. He goes, but isn't it good? We're weakening Russia. Oh, the guy with the hair that you brought up, that CIA guy. He was listing the reasons. This is great. We have old weapons we weren't using. We get to use those on the battlefield and see how it'll be for our coming war with China, of course. They want to fight. Miss Lindsey Graham's like, they want to fight to the last man. Oh my.
That's a great impression.
Yeah, it's easy. They want to, this is the best money we ever spent.
There's something really crazy about watching that guy,
Roy Cohn-Gay,
beat the drums of war.
He's been doing it my whole life.
But when he says it like in an aggressive way, when he makes statements in an aggressive way, it's like, it's very bizarre.
He's a good actor.
But it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre to like listen to it in his voice.
Yeah, well, we're just a gentleman down here. It's not any, it doesn't mean any, you don't have to do a conspiracy theory about me.
We are going to make them pay. Like, what?
They will fight to the last man. Okay, so here's
How is that inspiring?
Joe,
to young troops.
You just said the thing. So they're saying this like, the CIA, he's going like, this is a great idea. So we want Russia. They're our enemy. So we got these crash test dummies that we're going to just grind them into hamburger. Isn't that good? And use our old weapons we weren't using in creating jobs. Isn't that good? No, that's despicable. That's lower than any shit I've ever heard about another country, that we want to have a war with another country. We're not a secret, openly bragging about it. We're going to get these other people who can't win, and they're not winning, by the way, and just kill off most of all their able-bodied people. Average age 50 of their soldiers. The average age of the soldiers is 50. You aware of that?
In Ukraine?
Yeah.
How many soldiers have died?
I don't know for sure, but it's at least 500,000 if you include people that can never do anything again, that are just injured, the wounded and shit. The numbers they tell you are always lie. They're the same shit they did with Iraq and Afghanistan. No, it's working. We just got to keep putting a little more money into, like a drunk. We just got to keep putting more money into it.
Ukraine has lost 500,000 people.
Able-bodied, yeah. Well, the deaths are probably that high. You got to do Carlito's Way method with the numbers they give you.
Right.
So they tells you it's 50,000. It's probably 100,000.
Right.
Sasso. Yeah. You got to look at it like that because everything's a fucking lie that the people that you're supposed to believe say. Bro. So now,
what the fuck, man?
Yeah. So now, our first wife, our main wife, Israel needs us. So our side piece, Ukraine. Hey, Zelensky, it was great while it lasted, man. It's time to, it's getting weird now.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna say he's pregnant. That's his last move. But America, I'm pregnant. It's yours. That's all he's got left.
I'm pregnant with a war.
Okay. Here's the order of nations that I care about.
The average age is 50.
You haven't heard this?
I have heard this.
Did you see the video of the sad old men that look older than me?
I'm realizing now that I did hear something about it. And there was also, they were talking about how they stop people from trying to escape to make them fight.
There's a $300 rubber mask that looks like from the movie Drive that you can get to look old so they don't grab you and put you in a fucking van.
Oh my God.
And they're taking everybody, by the way. Women they're putting in forcibly. So they've lost. So they lost. That's the truth. Why don't we just kill another fucking amount of them until, by the way, Russia's not weak. They're doing better. I feel like Wolf Blitzer, but you made Russia weak, right? Like we can't confirm that. In fact, we didn't. When Tucker went there and showed the subway, this is where Jon Stewart, he says something great, like on a Colbert show about clearly COVID came from a lab. Yeah. We work with them again, by the way, for the record. And then he fucking does this. He goes, well, that's the price of freedom. You have the National Guard in your subway and it looks like shit. And you're saying, we're so free here. That's why that's why nothing is run correctly. He's smarter than that dude. That's fucking shitty.
Well, it's echo chamber thinking. you know, and you find ways to support what the echo chamber has sort of established
Stop
as
doing
the
that.
narrative. Yeah, stop doing that.
You don't have to fight nobody. You don't have to march.
Yeah.
Just stop doing that. Everybody
doing that.
once. It'll end the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a real problem, and it's also a problem that's being used to manipulate people to think
Well-
one way or another. You know, they'll use that and manipulate you with that.
Just comment. You know, a lot of times I'll look at some like a kooky conspiracy thing. Like I was reading about what is it, Monarch, the one that's like after Ultra, and it was making me laugh because the thing they're saying is like the scientists have kids in these cages and they shock one cage and they go, I love you, and they don't shock one. They go, I love you not, and shock the other one to make them it's like a mind control conspiracy. But while I'm reading it, I was laughing because it just sounded like a metaphor for our actual entire society. Like, I don't know if that shit's real. I'm sure it could be, but I don't know. But when you read it, it sounds like a metaphor for all of society. The I loves you. Remember you had Cat Williams talking about the homeless people, seeing all these illegals getting cards with money.
Yeah.
That's a great point he made. Like homeless people, you're laying on the ground watching people that aren't from here getting that sums it up right there, you know? It really is like at every level there's this fucking just like a scam, and you're supposed to buy into
every level. The homeless people thing is a great example. Just the poor people in America realizing that these people are getting $10,000 a month. That whole fucking thing that they were trying to do with Eric Adams in New York. That you get an ATM card and you get like a certain amount of money in
Do you
your
know the
ATM
debunking
card.
of that? Can I just debunk that
Please,
real quick?
Yeah.
The debunkings are worse than they go, no, you guys, it's not. Listen, I know you're an alt-right conservative guy, Joe, and you're making it, but you have to understand, it's actually cheaper. See, they were actually giving them they're spending more giving them money before this. The card is just to streamline it, and it'll actually be cheaper in the. You were giving them more money before this, and that's your debunking.
How much do they get?
No, it's only enough when you add up all the family members, Joe. Now, see, you're getting conspiratorial again. It's just enough to buy food and diapers and things that, people from here need.
If they all get $10,000, is that real? That seems so insane.
Did I move to
when
Alaska
the people from
on
Maui
Oil Month?
got $700 a one time. The people in Hawaii
You know how many kids are missing still? Did they ever find those missing kids? The thousands of them? Or did Oprah find a buyer?
I don't know.
They didn't do nothing for them people.
But they're
going to be baffled they don't vote for Biden. They're going to be baffled.
Imagine if these people are literally getting $10,000 checks and the people in Maui got $700.
You don't have to imagine. That's what happened.
Right. That's what I'm getting to. Like, this is the world that we're living in. This is how upside down everything is. And people that want to pretend that anything makes sense, whether it's on the left or the right, people that want to pretend that any of this makes sense, you're all out of your fucking mind. A family of four is expected to receive up to $350 per week under the program, which will last 6 weeks, city officials said. The program would begin with 10 families on Monday, expanding to about 115 families or roughly 450 people over the next week. Wasn't there something about keeping $10,000 in an account on an ATM card? See what that was about.
I'll bet you the numbers.
But he was connected somehow. The mayor was supposedly connected somehow to it.
It's New York, of course. Everything's corrupt at every level. It's not a little bit. It's the whole thing.
You're bumming me out, Kurt.
Well, I like that.
This up.
Oh, yeah. What
you got one more time? One more thing?
Yeah, it's about Haiti. No, Danny Shaw, you should look up if you want to know. It's like really upsetting, and because now what I'm seeing on the channels that I like to, where I'm more conservative. Great, now these Haitians are going to come in. It's like the reason all these people are rushing in, and it's intentional. It's 100% intentional. All these NGOs and shit, and the corporations want to flood with immigrants. It lowers wages. The military needs soldiers. We've done this many times throughout history. You saw gangs in New York, right? Mm-hmm. The Irish.
Yeah.
Okay. They want it's all military-age men being brought in to completely what's the word I'm looking for? I'm so goddamn.
Well, you eliminate legitimate patriotism. Because if you got people that come from other countries, then you arm them and have them go against the people that were here originally.
Dick Durbin saying on C-SPAN that's what we're doing.
This is the 10,000 number, but I don't know where they get the
it just says up to.
From.
It would give migrants up to $10,000 each in taxpayer money with no ID check, no restrictions, and no fraud control. So that means they get $10,000.
So I don't know where they got that. This
maybe that is like the limit for the $350. Like when it gets to
says here that it's $1,000 up to $1,000 each month.
So maybe it's like at the end of $10,000 they cut you off.
But also, from what I've heard, maybe it's not true. That debit card can only be used at particular places.
Yeah, for the things that cost the most in society now, like eggs and shit.
For people that have a business connection to the company that's issuing the money, that way they can get all the money. Yeah. That's fucking
So look, so that's crazy. That's 100% crazy. So that's your Democrat side. But the people doing that, flooding in, besides the ones that the government and these companies put in on purpose, we fucked their country up, and the people on top know that. That's how we got, like, remember Cocaine Cowboys? Mm-hmm. With, like, the Mariel boat lift and all. There's waves of this. And it's because we went somewhere, and they have shit that we want, and we take it, like Hitler did. Okay? And we go, hey, Haiti, it's pretty fucked up how you're not slaves. I hope first you're paying France back. Number one, you're paying them back into the 80s for the not being slaves. And they have lots of natural resources. All those iridium, like rare earth minerals we need for our EV initiatives around the world. They're sweatshops. You thought it was all Uyghurs? No, we make Haitians do it. We've invaded for them wanting like 37 cents more to make Levi's. We've invaded them like 4 times. We're about to have Kenya invade them for us. How we're doing Ukraine? The crash dummy method? Because it doesn't look good for us to invade while we're yelling at all these invasions Putin did. We're doing worse to Haiti than anything he did to Ukraine on any level. That's a fucking fact. But Danny Shaw, if you want a good source, that's the guy.
Okay. Let's wrap this up. Kurt, you're the man.
Dude, that
last night was fun too.
I laughed so...
You send me down a road, though, dude.
I have to deal with this, so why shouldn't you? I'm a woman, by the way.
When you started going to Jimmy Dore's show, like you immediately like became.
Once you see it,
once you see it, you can't unsee it.
It's horrible. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
The end. All right, thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks, brother. That was fun.
Thanks, man.